All right. How are we doing today? Earn the subs is dead. It's dead. Oh my god. We gotta decommission it. Well, decommission it for now. And then we'll figure out what we're gonna do. What things we're gonna put into the new burn the subs. We gotta troubleshoot this circuit board too for the RC car. Can't ignore all of my other projects. Too many things going on. But yeah. Why'd you spell hospital with spittle in it? All right, let's see. What else do we have going on around me? I think I've done all of the stuff that I need to do to get ready. Got those things all printed. That thing's all put together. Our stuff's over there. I have to get my sketchbook, which is right there. I got pens at the desk. I don't need to move again. Good. I'm super tired today. I don't know why I'm just like really like background tired. They managed to actually get a bag of blood out of me after sticking me another 50 times. So I do feel a lot better, but I mean, I just had blood drawn yesterday and now the insides of my arms hurt. That's that doesn't, the spelling is not irrelevant because I knew what he was saying. Because he spelled hospital, spittle, and I think there was intention behind it. You gotta learn how to spell stuff. Basic minimum. Let's see here. I don't have to turn on burn the subs. I don't have a, I don't have a today command. Couple follows here. Those are from a couple days ago. Anemia, no. No. It's high iron. That's why I need to give blood. It's not really giving blood either because I can't use it for anything. What are you doing today? I'll go over that later. Burn the subs is dead. We'll probably end up working on the RC car, but I need a list of tasks for burn the subs, and I'm coming up with that, not chat. This isn't your project, chat. Butt out a little bit. I'll let you guys help in some places, but I don't want to do too much command spam. I don't like it. You probably already know that about me. I don't like it. We've got so few people here that, like, you know, I don't mind people asking so much what's going on, you know? I gotta go over the project several times as I'm working on it too. So, like, you know, it's just gonna happen. I need to find my charger for this thing. This thing is probably getting pretty low on power, huh? I've been using it for a while without charging it. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that with the database. We'll do that today. I'll get the database and I'll mothball it. And that way we can have the GitHub as the full archive. I'm thinking about whether or not I want to do a channel on the Discord where I put project info. It would be a just me channel, and I could put all the links to the Fusion stuff and everything, but I need to organize my Fusion directories a little better if I'm gonna do that. Everything's such a fucking riot mess. Oh yeah, that's ohms, whoops. Such a mess in the, like my Fusion program. I don't really know quite the best way to clean it up yet. So I gotta work on that. 3.7, yeah, let's charge this. This needs to be charged. What do I got here? I had a charger kicking around over here. What happened to you? Where'd my charger go? It was right here. I swear. It was in the way, that's the problem. And I tossed it somewhere and now I don't know where it is. Ugh, what's going on with the song? Metro's doing weird stuff. Don't blame me. That's Metro. He's doing a pitch shift or a tempo shift. It's a dangerous game when you start messing with pitch. Okay, where did that charger go? What did I did with the charger? Let's... I should have put it somewhere special. All right. Up and over, under, behind, around, through. Let's see, usually I throw it in that corner, but I guess, you know what, maybe it's under the... No, there's an empty Red Bull can there. Okay. All right. All right. All right, makes me feel like a slob, that's all right. I keep unplugging myself. Yeah, it ran out of space. We had a big name come in and pop it, basically pop the whole board. Their name is still attempting to be placed. But it's not looking like it'll place. There's a possibility that there is a space on the board what is large enough for that name, but at this point, enough spaces have been tried that it's very unlikely that it's gonna place. Where did the charger go? What did I do with it? These, kind of like a more advanced lithium-ion battery charger that I like to use for these kinds of things, and I ended up putting it somewhere because it kept getting in my way. It's a very specific kind of tool, right? Oh, here it is. It's in the cable bin for some reason. There we go. All right. Now we can get the business. Ooh. And I'm gonna have to be the one that had to tell you that, but Oh, it's literally right in front of me. Okay, smart. That over here for now. What else? I think we're looking good. We're looking good. Start in a minute here. Start in just a minute. Let me put away some of these things. We'll get back to the RC car today. I have a couple housekeeping things to do with Burn the Subs, and then we'll change the title up. This can all go into the parts bin down here. What do I do with that? I guess I'll put it up above. Oh, we already know who done it. We already know who done it. They had the power in their hands the whole time, and I don't think they realized it. It's unfortunate, though, because it was just some random person who came into the stream and was like, oh, I love cool sub gimmicks. And by all means, they should have gone up on the board, but their name was just too much for it to handle at the state that it's in. We can get the hot air soldering stuff out of the way too. It'll give me a little bit more workspace. Yeah, what a weird experience that person had on Twitch that day. Like, I'm gonna go on Twitch, see what's going on. Hey, cool, tech stuff. And then it's like, you just broke the board. You just made a lot of work for me. I'll never forget you. Till the day I die. I will shout your name to the stars. What a weird day on Twitch for that person. Now, we've been approaching the theoretical limit we're still like hundreds of names off from it. So it was, I mean, it wasn't on, I wouldn't call it on life support, you know? It was getting to the twilight years, and it was robbed of its twilight years by a little bit. Not a lot, but I still think it had like at least 200 names left in it. I didn't look at the numbers though. That's just my intuition. Life support would have been if we get above 6,000, because 6,000 was the highest number digit that we've gotten in testing. But yeah. It was the like 6,000 something is what we get every time. Every time. How's this charge doing? 4.19 volts. What's the charge voltage? .2. So it's actually, what? It's almost charged. What? Wait, what? 4.2, there it is. Huh. Should have conditioned the battery. It really should take longer than this to get up to voltage. It's a little odd. Yeah, I guess the database will be good for testing, yeah. Because it's a good varied number of names, and it's like 5,000 of them, so I don't have to cut and paste names as much anymore. It's a good example of sort of the life cycle of a board from start to finish. I'll have to make like a scrubbed version of it. Saint Wiggly knows the story. I was working on cars with him over the weekend. Here's your switch, by the way. I want to work on that real quick. His door. I'm sorry. His blast switch. What am I calling that? The window roll up and roll down, whatever. Sorry, I'm a little out of it. I had that blood draw yesterday, and they poked my arms full of holes. My arms are super sore. Power window switch. Jesus Christ. Why does my brain do what it does? Why is it like this? Why is my brain like this? We're not doing anything with your name. We can't do shit with it. Thank you for subbing. I appreciate no return subscription. You know, I'll probably have to go through some logs and figure out who subbed in the space between, and we can throw those names into the board at first. I'm not going to bother with anything right now. I'm just going to hang out. It's probably already gone into the database over there, but we'll stop burn the subs from functioning. We'll take it off life support in a minute, and then I'll grab the files out of it and everything. Well, I might as well just be like, yeah, let's just start the stream. So I'm gonna carefully fade out Metronomic Live, and then get rid of stream start soon. I didn't even let you guys get to the drop. That's how evil I am. Setup, get rid of that. All right. I have, at least to begin the stream, I mean, we got a couple things going on here. Couple things going on in the shop today. One, I got the door switch from my friend's door. He bought an E39. So this is the same technology that goes into a lot of that generation of early 2000s BMWs. It is a door switch, and I took it apart on his garage. No, on his driveway. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. I took it apart in his driveway. There's a burnt trace on this thing, so we'll just do a quick little number on this thing, so I have it ready to go the next time I see him. But yeah, it basically what happened was inside of the car there is a motor that rolls up a couple cables, and when it does, it lifts two parallel little, I guess, linear guides, two little parallel linear guides that lift the window up. So you've got a little worm gear on a motor that spins a drum, and that drum reels in two cables at an even rate. And then those cables lift these little carts that lift the window up, and they're made out of metal, but it's a little bit of a malleable metal. And the previous owner, I don't know, maybe somebody leaned on the window in some way, because there are little pressed stoppers on that cable that the linear slide clips to, sort of. It's got just like metal that goes around it, right? So whenever that broke, it bent away and broke out. So that thing is dead. The window regulators are dead. He's getting new ones. In doing so, I believe that the window got into a state where I'm not quite sure what it could have been, but something in the switch overcurrented, and it's possible that the I don't know, it burnt a trace just with whatever current was there. I don't think it caused a short, but we'll take a look. But whatever nonsense is going on with the window, a little shocking. It corroded or burnt a trace on this switch. So I took it apart in his driveway, on his driveway, and took a look, and I was like, well, there's your problem. So he's got to get new window regulators, a new switch, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to fix the switch. Just because it's hard to source one of these in less than a week unless you're paying super duper buco BMW prices. So I'll just fix this. We'll just put some new copper in there. Unless we could just throw down solder on it, that might be able to fix it as well. So we'll take a look at this thing. A good one is $50-ish, but most are out of stock. Yeah, so that's basically a small job that we're doing here. But what else is going on? Well, you guys saw the title. Burn the Subs is dead. I don't think there's any getting it back at this point. It has been searching for a place for that name for a week. Well, 4 days. It's been since the last stream. Friday, Saturday. No, last stream was Saturday. Jesus Christ. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And here we are on Tuesday, and it can't find a place for the name. So, Burn the Subs, dead. The name on the board have filled it. There's nowhere for that name to go. It is a blockage. I'm sure it feels like probably another 200 names could probably have gone on the board if we weren't hit with a maximum character limit all caps name. But it was a maximum character limit all caps name, so that killed the board. Board's dead. I got a laundry list of things, and we got to get some thoughts together here and just sort of figure it out. Figure out what stuff is going to go into Burn the Subs 2.5. 2.5. This is important because Burn the Subs 2.5 is going to be a slight update of Burn the Subs while we work on the completely new technology for Burn the Subs 3. So Burn the Subs 3 is going to have, better motors, faster response time. It's going to have its own camera, all that good stuff. I'm not building that into Burn the Subs 2. I'd like to have a subboard on the wall, because right now it's like, well, what if my channel suddenly pops off? Oh my God, like it has. Anyway, there's always the threat of somebody like raiding. Hey, John Kilo, what's up? Burn the wall. No, I think there's part of one letter on the wall actually from previous testing, but like, what if I pop off? What if Ninja raids me? Does he stream? What does he do these days? I don't care. What if I get raided by a big channel, right? And then I have to do what I did with Rabaz. Rabaz raided at one point when we were working on the board, and he immediately gives 10 subs. He's like, yeah, look at this cool board. And I'm like, it doesn't work. You did nothing. Why did you do that? Like, I don't want that again. That scares me. The prospect of that happening scares me. So I need to have a board going while we work on Burn the Subs 3. So we need to do Burn the Subs 2.5, and that'll have slight improvements, things that we can change very quickly, and get the board back up within, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe, considering the speed of things on stream. I'm going to buy wood tomorrow, so we'll do all the mounting and stuff on Thursday. And then we have to determine where the edges are and how we're going to organize that. Alterations to the code are very quick. That doesn't need too much. But yeah, will subs be retroactively? I think, yeah, we'll talk about that. But I think what's going to happen is subs will be entered into a pool of names that will be given random order when they go in, and we'll have to come up with code for that, like an injector for the database that has a random order to it. So anybody that subs will get stored and then given a random order. Keep your secrets. I literally just explained it. I literally just you subbed too early with the response, and you didn't wait for me to immediately tell you. All right, I give up. It's never good enough for chat. It's never good enough. Anyway, so that's the idea. we'll get to the list of things that I want to do. Right now, let me fix the switch. I want to fix the switch, but yeah, we'll at some point today we will turn off burn the subs because it has had an eternity to try to place that name, and it's just not happening. It's just not happening. All right, so this thing should be done charging soon. That's at 4.2 volts. I don't know how long it's going to hold it there. I would like to get this thing off of the desk. Oh, you can see the heat that it's generating. There's a little battery charger for when we work on the RC. For when we work on the RC car, there's the battery. But yeah, I need to charge that up. Okay, so let's see here. Automotive switch. This is a BMW Switch. The immediate thing that I noticed about this when we took it out of the car, you're so hot. Yeah, I wish the nurses had this thermal camera, because you can see the veins on my arm, but they didn't, and so they poked me full of holes. Actually, you can't see the veins on my arm because there's heat pooling because of the bruising. I've got, like, my veins feel bruised. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I have high iron levels in my blood, and so they draw like a bag of blood every couple months. It's unfortunate that I can't donate it. I'll have to look into that. I wonder if I can actually donate blood. I think there's stuff that disqualifies me. But anyway, if I could donate the blood, I would do that. But I end up having them just draw it and then throw it out. You would think the propensity for doctors to add like obscenely large magnets to things, they would figure out how to remove the iron from your blood in a different manner, but poured in the Discord, I have low iron. Flatulent is low iron, I have high iron. Something about streamers, right? It's Flatulent Gonad in the chat. The one and only. Yeah, it went in the medical waste garbage. They make eye contact with me and they go, see your blood? It's trash. And they throw it out. They say it just like that. So this is a door switch, sorry, an automatic up and down window roller switchy thingy. I can't come up with a name for it because I'm dumb. Anyway, so this is a window switch from an E39 BMW from 2002, I believe. We can see all the features of it. It's got an up button, it's got a down button, differentiated only by filling in the symbol, the little house that they've drawn on it. I don't know why the symbol for roll up and roll down is a house. I mean, the symbol for unlocking your car is also a house. So I don't know. I don't know what Germans have with houses that they need to like put them on the window switches. It's like meaningless. But anyway, so you've got your house with the lights on, and then you've got your house with the lights off. And somehow that's going to indicate whether or not you're rolling up or down your windows. It is a two-position switch. Well, the buttons on it are two-position. Temporary, permanent. It's basically roll up or roll all the way up. So roll all the way up, I believe, probably has some kind of a timer or a current sense on it from the ECU. Maybe not the ECU, maybe there's like probably a window control unit, right? Probably an electronic window control unit. But there's roll it up a little bit because I'm cold, or roll it up all the way because I'm an asshole. So if you do two positions of it, rolls the window up, and I don't know what it's sensing. It might not be current, it might just be a timed thing so that it gets the window to go all the way up. I forget what they do in those cars. There's no sensor to tell it that it's all the way up. So this is a very simple device. This is not going to take us all stream to mess with. My friend's window, the previous owner had it fall. You can look into donating the blood to your local med school or science university. We used to use expired blood from hospitals, and it was hard to get fresh blood because you don't want to compete with medical donations. Huh. Well, that's interesting. I don't know if I could do that. You can't just show up to a university with a bag of blood. I know this. Anyway, so this switch is broken. Why is it broken? Well, the window fell for the previous owner. So we took apart my friend's door, and there was a literal block of wood in it. Man, another vampire joke. I can't get enough of those. So yeah, there was a literal block of wood holding up the window. Just one block of wood, and it was barely on the linear guides that lift it and lower it. See, inside the window, there's a motor with a drum, rolls up a cable. When it rolls up the cable, both of the things on the guides go straight up at an even rate, right? And so those had broken off of the cable. They were bent in weird ways. And so you know, who knows what the damage was to it, but the point is that the mechanism was stuck because it had been rolled in a direction and was unable to unroll or move at all. So we don't know what the state of the switch was. My friend has a short somewhere in the car that causes it to drain the battery. Maybe it was this. I don't know. But what I did in the driveway was literally just take apart this switch and look at the circuit board. So let's fix that. So yeah, the damage might have been done after the fact, or this thing might have been the cause of some of the issues with the door, or I don't know, combination of things. Or it could have been everything at once. Everything at once. Just everything decided that door, you know, the universe decided, hey, door, fuck you, and then it just broke. So anyway, let's take a look inside of this thing, and we can see what horrors lie within. Where are we? Where are we? Hello? There we go. Okay, so flathead screwdriver, and then clear, very, very clear snaps on these things. I like automotive stuff. Automotive electronics are always designed in kind of like big, boisterous ways that I can very easily see how things were put together. So this plastic housing is just, it's, you know, hey, whatever. But yeah, the plastic housing is just held on with little snaps. So the way that I do these is flathead screwdriver goes in here, and then I pry up with the screwdriver. What that does, it does two things. One, it gets the plastic over the snap, and two, it pulls it in a little bit. And in that action of pulling it in, it can barely, just barely seat that right on the edge so that thing is ready to go. Because the first one that I do, nothing's really going to happen here. As you can see, it's almost fully reset itself. But if I go over to the other one, now I've got a little bit of momentum going from that previous one. That one is staying on its perch. So if I keep going back and forth, eventually I've got this side ready to go. So just simple stuff. You just go in here with the screwdriver, because like if you pry that up and then try to pry it out, like you could damage this pretty easily. It's good plastic though, so maybe not, but screwdriver doesn't quite go burr. It doesn't quite go in as far as I would like it to here. So if I twist it a little bit, you'll probably get it to, I don't want to stab myself with a screwdriver right now. Yeah, it's a little tighter on this side because the other one is almost undone, but all right, let's get out of the microscope for this because I'm losing I'm losing the battle with it because I've had to show you guys stuff. Yeah, that side almost out. I can push it back a little bit, and that way I'll be able to get in here. There we go. Just like that. What I'm doing is I'm holding my fingers up against this to keep it from going this way. Look, the pessimism in chat, I need to attack sometimes. Nowadays, automotive stuff is designed to break. No. If taken apart, no. And costs a fortune to replace, yes. Talking about you door panel on a 2015 Mercedes C-Class, well, you know, that's not true. It's just not true. Might be designed with obsolescence in mind, but it's not designed to break. Cheer up, chat. It's a sunny day. Everybody's happy. All right, so anyway, work on those, pick it apart, 2 pieces. Easy peasy, right? Do spudgers make that sort of thing easier? Is it simply that they're soft enough not to damage the plastic in case of modern electronics? I mean, I guess you could probably like make a tool for that, or you could do a variety of things. But anyway, so taking this thing apart, we can immediately see that it cooked the solder mask, and that there are a couple traces on this thing that are looking a little dodgy, just directly from looking at this thing. I mean, the pins on these are just like we've seen in this era of BMW. We've got 4 pins taking 1, 2, 3, 4 5 signals into this. So 5 signals into this in a 12-volt car system. How do they do it? Well, the thing is, you have 3 separate actions on this. Roll window up, roll window down, and then the lighting. So you have not a ground wire, you have a power wire going into this thing. So you got a 12-volt wire going in, and then you have 3 sense pins that your ECU is looking at. Well, actually 2 sense pins and then a pin that controls lighting. So as you fade in and out your lighting, it'll use that pin in order to dim, not dim, just basically power the LED directly. But what happens with the 2 buttons is that the 12 volts for one of the positions of the button will go through a resistor. They loved to do this back in the day. They made a 3-state signal system. So this 6800 ohm, well, we'll actually take a closer look because I don't know if it's power, ground, and lighting or what. But in one place it'll go through the resistor, and then in another it won't. And that's how they do up and down. But we'll investigate that because I think there's a little bit more to the story because there's only one resistor on this board. Maybe the 6800. If the 6800 is just for the resistor, or sorry, just for the LED, that's a little weird. Yeah, it might be. It might just be for the LED. Okay, so that changes things a little bit. I thought it was the other way. Interesting. All right, so we'll look into it. We'll see how this thing is controlling it. I mean, I guess they could just do one is the permanent up, and the other one is the temporary up, and then it just goes what, positive and negative on the one line. I don't know. We'll take a look. So yeah, let's figure it out here. So we've got 2 industrial buttons. Here we can get rid of the extra stuff on this. 2 industrial buttons on this thing. They're pretty cool. They actually have a nice throw to them. They've got a nice soft feel. It's a very clicky button. It's a luxury button. It's for a luxury car. Feels like nice Corinthian buttons. 4221N 1535. I'm gonna guess we're not gonna be able to find this. 4221N 1,5 3,5 slash, is that 7 newtons? Let's try 4221N button. 4221N B122 Lightion. I think that's it. Optoelectronics. That is not. I mean, we've got one of these in the thing. (4221N) button. Light on. No, not light on. LCD DVR. No. Yeah, we're not really gonna be able to find anything about this. Those are like you know, BMW's like making deals to have the manufacturer like supply them and only them with like 1 million of these things. So they're not doing a publicly listed data sheet on something like that. Yeah, you can still feel the difference between up and all the way up with the cover off. It's up and then all the way up. There's like a click and then another very prominent click. Boop, boop. I would love to take apart the button housing itself, but I would also like this thing to go back together. I would love to know how they do the double click. It might just be like a height thing, like one hits and then collapses and the other, I don't know. I don't know how they're doing that, but yeah, it's sealed unit, so we'll never know. And also, I don't want to break my friend's $40 door switch. I'd rather fix it than break it. So yeah, how is this thing working? Well, the button itself, how many contacts do we have in this thing? 1, 2, 3, and 4. We've got 1 pin going to 1 button on 2 of its contacts. We've got another one of the pins going here and here. So 1 goes to the permanent one. 1 goes to the one goes to the other. How does that work? How does that work? Well, yeah, I mean, a height thing, but I don't know. All right, anyway. Doot doot connects to doot doot. and doot in this case don't have anything on them. This one does. That one and that one don't. There's a pin all the way over there, but that's okay. So that's the LED. So the LED is going through the resistor, which I didn't think that was the case, but I guess it is. LED goes through the resistor, and then it also goes to cripes. Where is it? Oh, is that okay? So that's ground for everybody. Wait, which one? Where's the toilet bowl? Yeah, that's the ground. See the little toilet in there? Little toilet in the orange LED. That would be the negative lead, and then the negative lead, and also the flat section on the epoxy cover. That would be the negative lead. Negative lead goes down there, and it looks like it busses out to a couple things. So I don't know what pin. It's probably this pin, isn't it? Let's see. Where's that? Oh no, that pin goes up and over. There's more damage to the board. Are we gonna have to desolder these? Oh boy. Hopefully that part isn't too. Oh wait, what is that? Is that damage? Yeah, that's what I'm just looking at. Ah. Drat. All right. I might have to desolder the buttons themselves, which I guess we could just use the solder sucker on it, and that should help. Maybe you can take it apart after all. No, not the button itself. I can just pop the button off. I'm just trying to see how this thing works, just for a little academic exercise here. You know, I can still ohm it out and see if it works, but I mean, this is untrustworthy in a car. I mean, look at that. But we don't know if this switch is broken or not. So let's just see what the leads do when I push the button. I'm pretty sure I found the ground, so we can go from Big Clive level reverse engineering. Why does it have to be attached to Big Clive? Why do I have to be in the shadow of all these other content creators, huh? What if it's an oh bother level reverse engineering, huh? You ever think of that? Maybe I don't want to be compared to Big Clive. Big Clive's a better content creator than me. I think there's a common ground on all these, and I think it's this pin. So I'm gonna start with this pin. Start with this pin. And then we know that this one is the LED. No, it's not. Wait a minute, what? Oh, what? No, that one's one of the buttons. Button, LED button? If this one is, yeah, there's nothing there. Okay. So currently inert. And then if I push, partial push one of the buttons, see that 6.8K I thought was going to be like the shifter that used different voltage levels, but this might just be a straight up switch. Partial press, full press. Okay, so that's full press. How does it do it? I don't understand. Okay, so here's what's bugging me about this. There's no resistor in this, right? And we have 4 pins. We got 4 pins. One of them has to be the lighting. One of them has to be a common or a ground or a power. We have 2 pins. How does that work? If we have one common, and then we have something that switches, but we have 2 positions for these guys. So these have 2 positions to them, and the window understands when you partial press and full press. That's so weird. That's really weird to me. That's really, really weird to me. If we have one common, all we can do is float it on like a non-connected pin or put it to ground. We have 2 pins to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Unless it's like using the 2 pins to like give a... No, but even if you code it in binary, what would you do? 1, 1 would be full, and then 1, 0, 0, 1. I don't get it. I don't get it. All right, I'm going to partial press one of these and see what I get. On the different pins, using these like chopsticks. Nothing. I'm getting nothing. Full press. Well, full press on the other one gives me. What about between these two? Well, we also don't know what the hell, like, because this thing is broken. So I know, this is only a button, but car electronics are weird. Yeah, you're correct. Let's try the button itself. So that's the partial press in the middle. So that gives me half an ohm. So that the button itself does work, sure. But when we go to the other lead, full press, that gives us also, okay. So yeah, it, all right, here's how the button works. I may need to sketch this in order to get all my thoughts together on it. So when you push the button, here, let's let me get the vise over here just so I have something to hold on to it with. Could somehow be taking the state high or low depending on the switch position? Well, that's what we're looking at. Hold on. So we'll figure this out. We'll figure this out. There's something fucky going on here, and I'll get to the bottom of it. This thing is like, I'm waiting for this battery charger to finish so I can, here, let me move the battery charger over, hopefully without disturbing everything. Okay, so now I've got room to work. Okay, so here's the circuit that we're looking at. This is a basically a oh God, what is it? It's a window switch for a BMW. Believe it or not, these things have window switches and turn signals. Unbeknownst to a lot of people around, we actually took apart the turn signals on stream. And the way the turn signals work to send multiple different signals back to the ECU is they actually, sorry, I'm focusing the camera so everything shakes. The way that they send multiple signals back to the ECUs, they put it through a resistor in order to do different voltage levels for the different speeds of the wipers and stuff like that. This, I should have known because it's a 680 ohm resistor. 680, that's the same ohm resistor that we used for the LEDs for the RC car. If you're in a system, well, a 12 volt, 5 volt, whatever system, 600 ohms, 300 ohms, those are about the ohms of an LED current regulator. So I should have known just by looking at this thing. I mean, you can read this surface mount resistor from a mile away. It's a 1206. It's huge. But anyway, the 680 ohms, 680. So 680 with 0 zeros behind it. And because there's 4 digits, we know it's a little bit more precise. Although it's not blue, so I don't think it's a precision resistor per se. But yeah, so that lead right there, this one and this one are our LED leads. The LED lead goes through the 680 ohm resistor. Great. There's other places that it's going though. There's a strange looking pin 1 kind of thing going on over here. And that's all the way up here for some reason. Oh, well, that's actually getting to the LED. So there's one lead there, one lead here. Excuse me, I was hiccuping. What the hell? Like, how does the car do lighting through this? You would expect, well, I mean, this one right here, I guess this pin right here goes out and around to this mysterious pin to the resistor. This one probably goes back to a common ground. So the way the button works, and there's a button here and a button here, and those have common either power or ground. I don't know which one it is, but there's the common running down and around, snaking its way through, going over here, going over here. Couldn't it just have gone right there? Or could not it just have gone? I don't understand where these traces are going. But okay, so that's the LED, sort of. We need to figure out what the hell is going on with these buttons. So I just did a little bit of ohming out, and we know that these 2 leads right here will connect to one another. And maybe it's these 2. I don't know. But they're connecting them, so it doesn't matter. These 2 right here connect to one another when you push the button. These 2, come back here. These 2 connect to one another. No, wait. These 2 connect, and then this one and this one. It's probably inside outside, but sometimes parts are weird like that. So anyway, this one and this one connect to one another when you press it all the way down. This one and this one connect to each other when you press it partially down. So what does that give us? I mean, the partial down doesn't have anything associated with it. I'm wondering if maybe there's like a larger number of pins on the driver's side one, and maybe the passenger doesn't have a full roll down capability. Or there's traces on the other side. I think there's traces on the other side. But what is going on here? I mean, I don't see anything connecting that. I don't see anything connecting that. This one goes here. What the fuck? Okay, hold on. This one goes here and here. I think they are doing like a binary thing with this, where it does like a 1-0 or a 0-1. I think that might be what's going on. Very strange. Because we got 4 controls, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we've got 2 pins available, because one of them has to be lighting, and we have a common. So how would you... Oh, you got roll down, full roll down, roll up, full roll up. The full thing could be just one modifier, and then the direction is already given by the state of the button, because the buttons are click through. So you're going to have you're going to have temporary roll down active, and then you go to full roll down. So you'll have roll up active, and then you'll go to full roll up. So full, that still needs more than just that. How does that even, what the hell? I'm confused. I mean, you could put like a signal on either of these in order to initiate it. But then what? I don't get it. I think we're going to have to remove the buttons, though, because it looked like there was damage on the other side. We have, we got a little bit of damage. Right, where was that? Right there. There's a bit of an overcurrent situation on this thing. I don't think this thing is directly controlling the motors, but I don't know why this would have cooked so hard. So yeah, we gotta take a look at that, because if the trace is damaged, I don't know where it's supposed to go. There's plenty of room for me to have like external wires inside of this thing. But man, this is more complicated than I thought it would be. So let's do a little desoldering on this and just see what happens. For anybody wondering about the title, Burn the Subs is dead. My auto sub board has filled with names, and we'll work on that in a minute. We'll make a list of what we need to do in order to get Burn the Subs up and running and healthy again. I think I can just straight up desolder these with the desoldering gun. And hopefully I got the big tip on the iron. Well, no, because unless no, I don't know. I don't understand how we can get that many signals without it having like more logic than this or something. I don't know. You guys can figure it out before me. That's great. I'll end up making a sketch of this, like either an MS Paint or actually the solder is cooperating immediately. This is pretty cooperative solder. Let's do that, and then I'll bring this over to here. That solder immediately cooperated, which is rare, especially for automotive electronics from 19 years ago. Oh, look at how well that desolders. Oh, yeah. That's the good stuff right there. I don't think I'm going to mess with the LED, but look at that. That is just gorgeous. That's going to immediately come out. That's amazing. Beautiful. I've never had something so easy to desolder. Beautiful. I should be able to grab the switch out now. I mean, I should just desolder all of them, but yeah, that's rare. Look at that. It just came right out. Wow. Okay, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Neat. Okay, let's put that aside. Other side of the circuit board. Survey says, here's your problem. That doesn't look so healthy, does it? Let's get the other one out too. Yeah, neither have I. I have never had something desolder that drama-free before. That was pretty incredible. Oh, my subboard is full. That's this week's project. This week's unexpected project is to get the subboard back up. It's just, wow, it's like it was made to be worked on. Made to be worked on. That solder goes into a liquid state, and then it just goes sloomp, and then nothing happens. You see that? I'm gonna add a little solder to it. Make it a little bit easier. My seal wasn't very good on that. Do it again. I'm getting lackadaisical. Ta-da! Look at that, beautiful. It's because the holes are so big for these tiny little leads. I don't know what the consideration for that was. Why have such large holes on them? Maybe just to facilitate quickness in manufacturing this board. So there's a big tolerance for the location of those. That seems really weird, right, Dion? Like, I don't think they're piggybacking the LED. I don't think they are. I mean, once we get a full view of all the traces, we'll have a better idea. That'd be so weird of them to do, though. There's our switch. All right, so let's start an MS Paint drawing. There's the heat on the board, by the way. Look at that little guy. He's a little warm. He's a little warm boy. Okay, so let's go over here and let's figure out what we're doing with this diagram. This is a window switch for a 2002 BMW 5 Series. We're trying to fix it because my friend can't find one that's under $50 and in stock and that he gets within the week. So we're going to do a little bit of repair to this one because it should be pretty simple. It just looks like this cooked a little bit. And I can just use 30 gauge jumper wires to fix it. It's just sending a 12-volt signal somewhere. So we've got these buttons. What's that symbol going to look like? I think it's probably going to look like this. It's going to look like a button. It's going to look like a button, and this is what a button looks like. It's a button with two little leads on it like this. Because it is a push button, although it is a push-through button. So what we will do is we will then draw another button, and because I can't be asked to draw things properly, I am just going to do that. So we've got a double button, and that double button is going to get a dotted line between these. And that dotted line is going to tell whoever's looking at this drawing that whatever idiot put it together knows what they're doing. And that those two switches, those two buttons are connected to one another. Now, you could do those anywhere on the drawing. You could separate them by 3 miles as long as you have a dotted line going between them. And that dotted line tells us that the buttons are connected together. You do this with switches too. You have a dotted line between switches that all throw at the same time. Now, in terms of how you would denote that this is a sequential switching operation, I don't know. I don't know how you would denote that. I mean, we could just label them 1 and 2 and just do it like that. So we got 2 of these things. Two of these things. So I'm going to put them over there. We have an LED. LED, you get a line. You put a triangle over the line. That's your diode. Probably denotes something about the, what is it? The boundary layer doing something. I don't know. It's like a check valve. So anyway, we've got our lines coming out of the LED. Then the LED goes to a resistor. Now, I don't know where the resistor is placed, if it's going positive or negative. So what I'll do, I'm going to put it on the, actually, wait, I could just look at that. I could just look, I could see that with my eyes. Let's see that with my eyes. My eyes! My brand! So yeah, we've got the toilet. You notice that's got a little public toilet in it, the LED? A little public toilet is actually a lens. That's actually a lens, and that is the ground, typically, that is the ground pin for the LED chip, what exists inside of that toilet bowl. So that toilet bowl is generally what I look for negative. There are other things that actually symbolize the anode and the cathode. A plus, C minus. Anode positive, cathode negative. The positive lead, sorry, the negative lead gets the cut. I forget. That's why I don't memorize that. No, it's the, where's the cut? This one doesn't have one. One of these should have a flat section. One of the leads usually has a flat section on it. Unless that's not the flat section. There's no flat on this LED. See what I mean about not trusting LED conventions? This is an atypically designed LED. What were they doing back in 2002? 2002? The year 1280. Yeah, 2000-02. I don't know. That probably doesn't mean 2002. But anyway, the car was sold in 2002. So there's no flat on this thing. So I don't know what's going on with that. That's weird. I'm gonna call that lead negative though, because that's how it typically is in these LEDs, and I have no reason to believe that this is a strange LED. So we can see that there's actually a common negative for all these things. Actually, no. Wait a minute. What the fuck? What the? I'm gonna go ahead and call that negative. I don't know what the deuce is going on with this thing. Yeah, I mean, so one thing that I preach here, and obviously Bellum thinks they're teaching me things, but instead I'm going to teach you guys things. So one of the things is, like, you can't necessarily trust the conventions with LEDs. It helps to check and make sure, because some books will be like, the longer lead tells you which one is positive on the LED. Like, wow, that's great. Thank you, Electronics Kit, for giving me information that's never, ever going to help me, ever. Because, you know, you cut the leads of an LED when you put it into something. You don't leave, I mean, in this case, they left long leads. It's so weird. That's so weird they didn't just have holes in the board for it. Anyway, you cut the leads on the LEDs, so you can't trust conventions like a longer lead. And then designs change so much that you can't trust, like, which one's the anode and which one's the cathode. Oh, well, the cathode always has the lens on it, right? No, I've seen opposite ones before. And sometimes you get bidirectionals and stuff like that. So the best way to test is have a multimeter. Multimeter is a very general purpose tool around these kinds of things, around these kinds of electronical type things. So multimeter is great to have around. I happen to have one that's very expensive. The multimeter has possibly one of my least favorite things in the entire fucking universe, which is the beep mode. Wow, this is just great. This is so great. I love listening to this in an office full of people. I just love listening to that. No, I fucking hate the beeper on the multimeter. I don't use it. I don't use it because sometimes things will be, like, connected through something small, like a coil, or you'll get weird interactions with things that you can't see on the beep mode of the multimeter. If I'm reverse engineering a circuit and I'm looking to see where this trace goes, and I go over to the end of that trace and I get a beep, sometimes you'll see a resistance in there, or sometimes you won't get a beep and you're forced to look at something else. So if you put this onto ohms mode and you go from one end of a trace to another and you get 10K, you're like, oh, there's a 10K resistor somewhere. Oh, look at that, there's a 10K resistor somewhere in there. Or if you get 0.3 or 0.4, you know that there's very, very little ohms between those two traces. They're connected. So the beep mode sucks. Don't use it. Anyway, above the beep mode on the shift key is diode mode. Oftentimes they're actually the same thing, because when there is continuity, a low amount of ohms voltage gets through, this will beep at you. In the diode mode, what this does is it gives a very small amount of voltage, because it looks for where the diode, acting as a check valve, will, basically the boundary layer gets enough so that the silicon will conduct, right? So there's enough voltage on the diode that it will allow current to flow through the silicon chip. That's how diodes work. When you put voltage on one end of silicon that has a boundary layer, the holes and the electrons, their boundaries expand, and when they expand enough, it conducts. So that's what this is trying to ascertain, is what that point is where it conducts. So it is a current-limited variable voltage source to go into this diode without blowing it up. What that means is if you put it against an LED, you can determine which lead, assuming you've plugged your leads in properly, by the way, you can determine which lead is positive and negative, and it'll also light up the LED partially. So you can actually see what color the LED is. So here it is in reverse. We get nothing. You get overload, OL. Sorry, it's a little light in the thing there. So we get OL, all overload. But if I flip them around, flip them around, we get just a little bit of orange light coming out of this thing. And we can see that it's 1.68 volts, which is kind of a lot. It's an old LED. So yeah, so we know that that is the negative lead. Let's go back to the microscope. And this is all just to determine which lead the resistor's on the LED. The resistor is there because once that silicon starts conducting, it does not care how much current goes through it. It will act almost like a short. It'll have a voltage drop. It'll use that 1 volt, but then it'll allow an infinite amount of current to go through it. And since the silicon die itself has a little bit of resistance, if you allow all of that current to go through, it will produce heat, and that heat will kill the part. It'll kill the part. All right, so this is one lead of the LED, and that's the positive lead of the LED. So the positive lead of the LED gets the 6.8K, sorry, 6.8K, the 680 ohm resistor. So the positive, wait a minute, positive lead, no, that's the negative lead. Negative lead gets the resistor. All right, that's fairly common, right? Let's double check that. That lead, man, look at him. Him's taking big steppy. Taking a big step. All right, that lead over there, that lead over there, positive, resistor, positive to resistor. Okay. All right, so back to our drawing. Positive lead resistor. So the anode, A plus, C minus, positive lead gets the resistor. So that down here, we draw a resistor on top of it. I'll use a line tool for that. We'll go with the North American symbol for a resistor, which is a squiggly line, because it's literally just a way to pack a longer line into a smaller area, harkening back to the days when America invented electronics. All right, so that's the positive lead. That has a 680 ohm resistor on it. Use a nice big thick pen here. That's a terrible 6. That was a really bad 6. 6, 8, 0. Okay, 680 ohm resistor. Oop. Okay, so 680 ohm resistor to positive. Where else is that going? What? How, like, on a data sheet can you tell that an LED needs a resistor? Every LED needs a resistor. That's you don't, unless it explicitly says that it has an internal resistor on it. If you just hook up an LED to a power source, it will become a short when it is biased properly. Data sheet needs an LED, but not say as buzzer that doesn't need one. Is it just a matter of knowing an LED needs a resistor? Yeah, it is. A silicon diode will go into a runaway current situation without it. It's just a matter of knowing your electronics basics, I guess. And a buzzer, I don't work with buzzers, so I don't care. All right, so 680 ohm. Where else? Where else is that going? His big steppy. That pin is shared, and we don't know if it's ground or not. So positive, let's trace out positive. Positive goes, for the LED at least, it goes through the 680 ohm, and then it goes to that square pad, which is doing nothing. I guess that's just the test pad or something. I guess these two are the test pads. Where's that one going? That one goes nowhere. What is this board? All right, so this board has all kinds of weird stuff on it. 680 goes there, and then it goes to another lead. So we've got and I thought that was going to be a common ground lead, but it doesn't look like it is. Very strange. So that one goes to that pin, and then the other one goes, yeah, to a common ground. Okay. Okay, so we can just draw that now. Because, yeah, now we know it goes here, here, where it's got a test pad, and then it goes there. So we can include the test pad if we want. I don't think I'm going to, but I'm just going to put a circle as the pin. So this is our pin. And then this goes to a common ground. I'm going to draw a common ground as an arrow pointing down. So the arrow pointing down, I'm going to say is ground, even though, well, I think it's safe to say that it's ground because it's connected to this with, you know, no other. We know that lead of the LED is definitely ground, and it's also connecting to both of the switches. So where does that trace go? Let's see. That's not going to help us. We're looking at my fat hand. Why are we looking at my hand? Okay, there we go. Can't find a good cameraman these days. It's ridiculous. All right, so that lead, that ground lead right here to here, and then we don't know what else it does. That ground lead goes to this pin and this pin, which are our number ones. Looks like this is flipped, maybe. Let me check to see how the button operates if we're correct about this. So if I push the, okay, go to ohm mode. Ohm. And then we go inside leads. Nothing. Damn it. Okay, hold on. I gotta hold these like chopsticks. I think that's the best way to do it. Because I need to also be able to press this like that. So inside like that, single press, becomes ohms. Undo, it's nothing. Commons, no common there, no common there, no comment. Haha. These two, nothing. Partial press. And then I can't get it to full press. Full press. And then these full press, ow, and do that. Okay, yeah, that's what that does. Under full press, anything connected over here? No. Anything connected over here? No. Okay. All right, so that's all it is. So it's inside outside leads. That's the dual press. I'm glad this is simple. So it's one, the inside set of leads is the first press and the outside set of leads is the second press. So if we are tracing the LED and we're going to figure out what everything's ground pins are. Yeah, ground pins. Geez, I keep double checking. That would mean that switch number 1 of both of them is connected to ground permanently. Okay? So switch number 1 of both of these is connected to ground. So we can do this just to display how they're connected. So this, actually, maybe to clean up the drawing, I'll just do it like this. I'll just do an arrow for both of these. So switch number 1, both of these go to ground. Copy paste. Oh God, oh dear God. Transparent selection, there we go. That one like that. This one like that. Ignore the dot. Oop. Ignore that. Okay, no, that wasn't dirt on the screen. Okay, that's one of the leads. We're getting there. We're doing it. It's working. Another one of the pins is going to be ground. Maybe we should keep the pins in order just so we know which one's which. Let's determine which pin is where. So our ground pin is, well, our power pin is the second one. Let me just put 4 pins up at the top of the drawing, and then we'll just put things off of that. Right now we're working on my buddy's Windows switch. Trying to save it. 1, a 2, a 3, and 4. 4 pins looking down on the board. KiCad would be a waste here. I would, if I was doing this alone, I'd just be writing it down in a notebook. Okay, so let's see. Ground pin, ground to pound. Ground to pin is pin all the way on the left. We're just going to do it looking at the board. Similar. Ground pin all the way on the left. So that one just going to get an arrow. That is our ground pin. Okay, our LED pin is the second one. All right, that's easy enough. Probably did the buttons facing the wrong way, huh? See what I mean? We now have two, oh crap. We now have 2 pins left over for the buttons. How is that gonna work? I'll just do it like this, there we go. I have 2 buttons with 2 states and I have only 2 pins. Isn't that weird? I don't know how that's gonna work. Here, let me free up that area of the drawing, and then I don't know if I need to reverse, let's pull these over to the other side. All right, we got to get through the rest of the drawing, I guess, if we're going to figure this out, because that first button press, well, okay, yeah, let's figure out the rest of it. So we know that they're not associated with one another, the inner and the outer pins, although they are connected together in the actual traces themselves. So let's figure out what we got going on here. We'll start with the connect. It's stuck in the clamp. All right, so the other pins are connected to this one. Oh, that's sort of weird, isn't it? So what happens is these two, what? Oh, that was the wrong tool. I think it's doing like a binary kind of thing. And then these two. That'll repair my circle. Sweet. Okay. And then those go to 1, and I purposely didn't label them, so, you know. And then these go to the other. It's gonna get kind of in the way. I'll do a sideways line, even though I hate it. Just like that. And I'll put a big dot. We need a big dot right there to tell us that that's connected. Okay, so yeah, that's how that part of the thing is wired. So when you hit any of the buttons, it's connecting to ground for the initial roll down. Huh, okay. But then ground is also connected to the other one. What the fuck? Okay, hold on. One is connected there and there. And I'm going to guess that those two on the right, they don't connect to anything. They just connect to the one pin. But then this one goes outer of that one, outer of that one. So that second pin is actually doing a... What the fuck? Okay, hold on. I got to think about this a little bit more. That one over there. Oh, I see. That one over there connects to... Okay. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What the hell? What is this doing? So the outer pin over there and the outer pin over there. That pin there. That one there goes to the thing. Those are the ones that are connected there and the switch there. But then it also goes to the opposite ones. What the fuck? Okay. So this is going like here, and then that's going there. What the fuck? Okay, all right. Let's this one here. This is when schematics start looking stupid, when you have weird crossover things like this. But I can do it without crossing it over. Guys, I know paint. I know paint. Don't worry about me. I know what I'm doing. Okay, so when I push one down, so right now they would be nothing, nothing. So what are our states? I'm not going to do that. I can make a little table. We'll just call them up and down. Make a table of values. So pins 3 and pin 4. How many different states do we have? Well, can't be more than that. Hold on. So we've got up and down, 3 and 4. So up and down, off and off. So I'll just do X and X. And then 3 and 4, nothing, nothing, right? So if we do up 1, down is off. So we're only doing up 1. Pin 4 is ground. So if we do up 2, down is X, then up 2 means that both of these are switched. And let's double check that. Oops. Let's double check that. I don't know, we're finding out what it is. Double check that. If I press all the way through, we get continuity, and then we still get continuity all the way down? I think so. Hold on. Double press. Boop, boop. And then get a good connection on the leads here. Yeah. So it conducts whenever it's pressed. First press, conducts. Second press, still conducts. Okay. What does that mean? How does the car know? Well, we've pressed up both. So all the way through to 2. So that's going to connect ground to this bus. So pin 4, having initially been set to ground, still set to ground, but so is pin 3. Ground, ground, ground pound. We need another row on this thing. The best way for me to draw it with the most accuracy, so it looks like it completely belongs in the table, is just to freehand it. So there's the boxes that I'm adding to the bottom of the table. So up in position 1 and 2, this is now not pressed. Down is in position 1 and 2. Down in position 1 is going to connect ground to pin 3. Pin 4 has nothing going on. Okay, so that's how it works. So when it sees ground, ground, the ECU is going to take whatever state that it was in before, whatever direction that you were rolling the window in before, and then take that as a confirmation that you want to roll it all the way up or down. Mr. Calling is an industrial designer. You know, I guess I did. Should have gone to art school. So anyway, yeah, interesting. So it is as simple as we thought, but there's just an added like weirdness to it in order to get the different signals to the different pins. So they're using pins 3 and 4 as a bit of a logic kind of thing going on with it. So if you press it a little bit, it will do the initial roll down for as long as you press it. And then if you click it through, it sees the other pin that denotes you want to move the window in the other direction. and it'll interpret that. So if you're good enough at pressing buttons down, you can probably press them both at the same time. I don't know if this thing will allow you to. There's a pretty strong rocking mechanism on this. Yeah, you'd have to break the switch. But if you broke the switch, you'd get some weird operation on it. Neat. Okay, cool. So that's that. Now we know what circuit's there. I can try to repair it. But that's an interesting little mechanism. They turned it into a little logic table that'll tell the ECU what direction you want the window to go in. If you want it to go all the way up or all the way down. Neat. Okay, so back to this. We don't know if the switch is broken or not. We know the buttons work because I tested them. I ohmed them out. These things work. So now we can just take a look at these traces just to see if stuff gets to where it needs to go. So I can take this from a point-to-point kind of thing and just see if there's anything broken. And if it's okay, then I'll just drop some UV glue on top of this. I'll scrape off some of the detritus, and then I can just put a little dollop of UV glue on it to protect it. And that's it. Because it might have just overheated. It might have just overheated. There might not be breaks in the trace. Or that's a giant break in the trace right there. Yeah, it looks like the trace rolled up. That is your problem. That'd be a problem right there. Let's determine whether or not it is. So I go from, let's get this in view. Go from here to here. Dun, dun, dun. No signal. All right, so that's our first. This is where we'll do our first repair. No signal. How about from here to here? Because it looks like there's damage right there. Signal. Okay, 0.6 ohms. That's good. Where else? That's just extra solder. Let's look at the other side of the board because there's other ones. It's cool, junkyard tuning. That's why I do this kind of stuff. There's always something interesting with car electronics, you know? I don't get to get my hands on a ton of car electronics in my day-to-day, but there's always something weird, always some weird design choice going on with car electronics. Well, look at you right here, you little bastard. So yeah, this whole switch was just nasty. Nasty, nasty. All right, so that one's okay. This one is very much not okay. This one's like, bro, I'm straight up having a bad time. Look at that. So those brakes are actually, it's interesting because the overheating and the breaking of the trace is something that I always talk about. These did a wonderful job of exposing the copper for me. So I can now drop solder down directly on top of that and just put a little piece of wire right there. With the fact that the copper's now bare effect things, it would cool it a little better. But the bare copper can corrode. What am I going to use to repair that? It would be nice if I had... I guess wire wrap wire is probably going to be just fine, because I'm going to cover it in solder, and these things aren't supposed to... these things aren't really carrying that much current. So we know where they're supposed to connect and how they're supposed to connect. It was a nice, clever little diagram there. How cool is that? Solder wick is too much material. That's too much material for this. We want to have a minimal effect on this thing, and the amount of copper there is probably about a 30 gauge wire that's been flattened out. So let me get wire wrap wire. You know, I don't need to put 18 gauge wire on these. It'll be fine. Hey, CodeRushed, how you doing? Thank you for the raid. How's everybody doing over there at CodeRushed? We got my buddy's window switch that broke. Well, the whole window broke. This is just a symptom of the previous problem. No, yeah, that was exactly caused by a lock in the motor. The previous owner's window fell into the panel, and the reason that it fell into the panel was that somebody put enough force on that thing so that in the window regulator cables, the window regulator is like a motor that spins a drum, and that drum reels in two cables. And those cables move two linear slides up and down. That's a window regulator. So those little linear slides moving up and down, that's achieved through a little thing attached to the cable, a little, I don't know what you call it, just a little like thing that's like soldered into the cable, basically. It's like a little nub, and that little nub broke out of those linear slides. We had all kinds of damage that we found in there. It was the window was being held up by a literal block of wood. So we took all that stuff out of his car, and then we took a look at the window switch, and I, just sitting in his driveway, picked apart the thing and took one look at the traces and went, oh, that's dead. So we're looking at the aftermath of the window regulator being completely seized up for a period of time. So it probably overheated, and then the traces heated up, broke off of the substrate, broke, and that was it, right? So they overheated the solder mask, and that's why they're like off of the PCB, but there's like green stuff on top of them and stuff. They overheated and did that. Traces, by the way, the size of traces on a circuit board are determined entirely by the amount of current that goes through them. You say, well, yeah, it's just like wires. Well, you got to think about it. If you have a trace and there's fiberglass beneath it that it's attached to, which is like epoxy resin stuff, and then you've got an epoxy coating on top of it, you've essentially got a flat wire that is suspended in plastics. Plastic doesn't like heat. If that wire heats and cools, it's on like it goes on a long run, and if it expands and contracts a lot, that can lead to the trace itself bending and contracting a lot, right? And eventually that's going to metal fatigue, and then your big trace will metal fatigue and crack until there's a little tiny bit left, and that little tiny bit, well, that's basically going to be like an igniter. That's going to be a small area of copper that a lot of current's going to want to get through, and then that'll heat up. So what happened here is probably the entire trace heated up, and then it moved around, and then at the locations that we're going to repair it, it broke to the point where it melted or burnt away. That's why there's like no copper in those areas. It probably flaked away. God, I had a leftover cold burger for lunch. I just got a whole stomach full of heartburn now. Okay, let's see. That one is actually still there. I'll drop a little bit of UV epoxy on top of that to repair it. This one, that'll just get a single little piece of 30 gauge wire. And I guess I can keep the big soldering iron tip, because that'll help me. Where'd my solder go? What the? Wait a minute. Chat? Oh, no, it's literally right in front of me. Man, that's the second time that's happened today, where something's been literally directly right in front of me, and I have not seen it. It's one of those days, huh? How was that? That was a really loud door closing noise. Scared the shit out of me. I was under attack. So there, see, that's taking on solder. If that didn't take on solder, my other strategy for repairing this would have been to just put a wire from that lead, probably to that pad right there. Sorry, this lead, maybe to the other side of that. See, what they do in automotive electronics is they don't like solder, because there's a lot of, oh no, it would have been to this side of the lead. They don't like to use solder. So I would keep that in kind and just try to, yeah, rest in peace BTS. It's dead. It is dead. It has been killed. No. Okay, let's see. Wire cutter. So I just need a little piece of bare wire. So I'm just going to take one of the jacketed ones, strip the jacket, and then we can just solder this baby down. Solder this baby down. Let's get a little bit of solder on this. I'll pre-tin the wire just to be nice to myself. Okay. Hey, thanks for the follows, guys. Yeah, there was a lot more W's in the name. It was a max number of characters capitalized name that took the honored position of killing the board. I was hoping it would be a regular, but it's not. It is an irregular. All right, cutting that, I guess I could use the knife. The board's full. That's 3. So this is a very minimal repair. Oh, did that whole thing move? That's not good. What's going on here? I think that's the trace coming up a little bit. Yeah, I think the trace is just moving a little bit. The UV epoxy will hold that down. That one is not broken. It does look kind of damaged. Take a look at it. Just get some of the corrosion off of it because it heated up. So I just want to make sure that the whole trace is there. I'm just brushing it with the knife. I need a new tip on this knife. Hold on. New tip on the knife. That off of there. Get a new one out of the bin. Ooh, that one's trying to stab me. Probably a better way to do this than handling the knife itself. All right, now we got a super duper sharp new one. And I'm going to use it to scrape. Aha. Some people have like a clear green nail polish that they use to repair with, so they can make a solder mask. I'm just going to scrape around it just to make sure that there's no, yeah, there's no breaks in it. It just cooked the material on top. All right, so let's go to the underside. That's our first repair. Second repair over here. Ugh, this side looks real bad. I'm inclined to want to remove that resistor just to make sure that, because we got a big break right here. I think the resistor would have shielded it from getting destroyed. Look at that. There's like a trough that it sits in where the solder mask goes around the trace. Yeah, we can use UV glue to hold that back down. So use UV on that. Hold on, let me do this. Just clean up some of the stuff that burnt with the amount of current. I mean, it's like a car battery behind this, right? They're not running their electronics at 5 volts. They're running full car battery current through this thing. Car batteries can supply quite a bit of current, so no wonder there isn't heavier damage than this. Actually, we don't need to look under the resistor. We know that that connects, because I ohmed it. Didn't I? Did I ohm it? I don't think I did. Hold on, let me ohm it out. When in doubt, ohm it out. So from there to here. Okay, yeah, that does connect. Sorry, I'm a little burpy. Whew, okay, there we go. All right, so it's one repair for each side of the board, and that's it. And then we're good to go. I'll put the switches back in, and we'll have a repaired switch for a temporary permanent solution for my friend's car woes. A little bit of solder to each side, and then a little bit of wire to that soldered portion. Let me just tin the wire. I'm tinning the wire just to put a coat on the bare wire, a coat of solder on the outside of the bare wire. That's going to make it a little bit easier for me to solder this thing down. It just means that it'll be a solder-to-solder interface on this. Probably should have done one side than the other like it was a surface mount part. I'll do that and then I'll cut it. Because now I can solder it down with impunity. Ooh, oops. bumped that thing up. The problem is it's going to be prone to breaking for now up there. I just got to be careful of not folding that too hard until I can get some glue on it. Probably assist myself a little bit here. I don't have to do this totally. In a vacuum? Where is this? Hold on. How am I gonna do this? I was trying to like position myself. Here we go. Yeah, that'll be a little easier. All right, so that's it. That's all I'm gonna do. Let me drop some UV epoxy on top of this. Hopefully my UV epoxy is not totally solidified inside of the syringe. It hasn't. It's still, the bubble's moving. All right, that's good. So I need an applicator. I guess I gotta go into the epoxy bin to grab it. I gotta go all the way over here. You can buy little plastic syringe toppers that have lure locks on them. Lure lock compatible for like $1. So that's what I use to put the UV epoxy that I got in a big jug, and I put that into the syringes that are used to refill my insulin pumps reservoir. And I put some I put some Captain tape around it because it's orange. Hopefully it'll block any UV light from getting into that syringe. And then, yeah, Bob's your uncle. Ugh. Back over here. All right, so we can just drop little bits of UV epoxy where we need to protect the board, where the solder mask has come up. I should probably clean the flux off of it first too, huh? That's probably a good idea. So we're gonna use this neurotoxin, according to chat, to brush off the little bits of the board. We'll do that. Do it on the microscope. We can still see what we're doing. It's so weird that that's clear to thermals. Really, really weird. It's a thin material, and I guess heat gets through it. All right, there's my neurotoxin. Yeah, the solder mask is resilient enough to withstand the acetone treatment. Potter's chat's pretty neurotoxic. Yeah. I should probably move that a little bit. I don't like that. I'm not gonna settle for that. Let me clean the other side first, though. That makes no sense. What you just said makes no sense. Keeper of Maps, thank you for subbing. We don't do anything with people's names here when they subscribe. Sorry. This is my friend's Windows Switch. It, not that it stopped working, but the Windows stopped working, and we were investigating it over the weekend. And we pulled this thing out, as well as the window regulator, which was in terrible, terrible shape. Terrible, terrible shape. So I am repairing it by doing a couple little trace repairs. Okay, I need to pull that trace in a little bit. I don't like it. I don't like it being so close to the other trace. It's just an aesthetic thing, really, because the solder mask should protect it. But I just wanna pull that in a little bit. I was really tempted today to make the title BTS is Dead. I would have gotten in trouble for that. I don't think I need K-pop fans coming in here with a war cry, you know? That's a little better. I'm a little happier with that. Think of all the viewers. I'd rather not, because Twitch would probably shut me down. Somebody would report it as harassment or something. All right, fix in the traces, then drop in the UV on it. Oh, shit, that's gonna leave marks. No, don't mess my table up. Ah, crap, it already did. I gotta keep from dripping the acetone on this table because it, ooh, geez, I gotta be careful about that. I gotta be careful when I clean this area because I don't want to move it around much. I don't want that wire to make a short right there. I think that's okay though. That'll do. No, that won't. I need to move it. That's in a bad place. It's in a bad spot. That's gonna have a bad time. What happened to burn the subs? It's full. It's full. Got filled. Okay, I'm a little happier with that. So now we gotta hold it in place. Stop shaking. Jeez. All right, hold it in place. And we do that with a little bit of UV glue, which hopefully flows out of this applicator, which hopefully flows out of that, which flows out of, which, It's going to be an absolute shit show of glue when it actually does decide to, I'm like putting light pressure on the plunger and nothing's happening. It might have solidified in the syringe. The bubble's moving though. The bubble's moving in there. So, scrap sheet of something. Here we go. Oh, yeah, it's definitely solid, at least in the beginning of this. Yeah, it looks like it popped off. About to pop off. All right, let's see. What do we got? I need a pin tool. Maybe, just maybe, I can shove a pin tool into this thing and it'll open it up. A scary dental pick. Yeah, it's like an amber fossil, yeah. Oh God, there's a whole fucking plug in there. Wow, that's a... I just moved this piece right here. It's just a solidified plug of UV epoxy. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. Well, if I can get a little bit of glue past it, I'll have enough that I can at least continue with what I was doing. Doesn't look like I can, though. Look at that. There's just like this plug that's moving with everything. Ugh. That's so weird. Okay, well. I did get a bunch on this pick. I gotta clean the pick off. Ugh. Gross. Gross! I actually kind of like the smell of the UV epoxy. Very plasticky smell. There he is. That's all we needed. So what I'm gonna do is just put little dollops of this stuff around and on top of the traces. It's not the strongest stuff in the world, but it will protect. Protect. He asked for additional snack. All right. All right, pull the plunger out a little bit. Stop that thing from continuing to flow. And go into the ultraviolet. Bam. That is bright. Board is very reactive to ultraviolet. Yeah, actually some people have green nail polish that they'll do this kind of trace repair with. This is the kind of stuff that you do when you build a circuit board and your traces aren't right. You scrape them up and then you move them around. That's why using the minimum possible trace size can be bad. What was that extra epoxy up there? What happened up there? Ah, shit. I'm gonna have to peel that off. This thing might not go back together if I'm not careful. Where did that even come from? What is that? Damn it. This stuff up here is pissing me off. What is that? Why is that there? Ugh. Okay, all right. Okay, there's that side. Yeah, it's like a big fucking drizzle of this stuff. Well, this stuff comes off cleanly. That's the good part about it. You can just peel it off. So I just picked off that big drip of it. But yeah, this stuff is now encased in plastic, question mark. So that should be good to go. Yeah, the largest trace size that'll fit. So you want to do, you want to be kind to yourself in your designs. I went with minimal trace size on a couple of my boards and, well, they're a bit tough to repair at that point. This is just to hold down that trace. It gives it a little bit of stiction. It just sticks it to the board and keeps oxygen away from it. I barely have to touch the end of the plunger in order to get this to super flow out. That hold, I think that's for a pin. Touch the end of the syringe here a little bit. But I'm not looking to like conformal coat this board. I just want to put a little bit of material down to hold those things in place and protect. That one had a little bit of, this one looks a little rough too. And I completely missed it. Oh God. Oh God, what have I done? Good enough. Good enough, good enough. And then ultraviolet. I'll put the two switches back in. I think the switch will fit with that little piece right there, because there's like a break in the switch right there. Why would you not just dip it in it? Because I still need to solder the stuff down on this. Plus, I don't think the circuit board would fit right if it had that extra material on the outside. All right, switches. Oh, you were mocking me. Let's see how it is. Let's see. These don't really have a directionality. I guess I'll just do the text facing one direction. Like that. And this one like this. Then I'm not going to clamp them because I need them to stay in, so they might fall out if I solder them while clamped. And then back with the soldering iron, we just gotta put this baby back in here. That's it. That's all she wrote. We'll test it. I'm pretty glad that was an easy repair. Hopefully the window regulators that my friend puts in aren't too cheap. Hopefully they don't burn up the burn up the traces again. Another way to protect the exposed part of the traces would be just to put solder on it. Just put solder on it, because the solder will have better corrosive properties than copper. It's got silver in it and stuff. Silver does oxidize, though. Yeah, I mean, this is going to have to be in a car, which is going to have a huge variance of temperatures. So try not to burn my own UV glue, but it's like the board was like rotating on me there. It's like, man, chill out. Hey, stay put. Jeez, need like sticky stuff on my desk. Ah! Stop moving. Stop moving. Stop moving. All right, so that's the Switch back together. Back together. All good. So now I can test it, I guess, but all these pins are easy to access. Ouch! To access. Owie, that thing was hot. Look how hot it got when I soldered it. Jeez. All right. So from what we know from this guy over here, I can actually just test this using pins 3 and 4. Now, I called them 3 and 4. They're not necessarily numbered, but I did it purposely viewing this thing from the back end with the board below the pins. So pin 1 and 2, we know, is the LED. If I were to give that 12 volts, it probably would... Is this thing still charging? What is it doing? I thought this thing would have beeped at me by now, but it's like 4.2 volts. I guess it's going to go a little bit above 4.2. Yeah, I think that's what it's doing. All right, anyway, so ground on the ground pin, ground for the ground god, ground there, and then all the way on the 4th pin, we have up. So if I hit that one single time, we get ohms. You guys can't see it because the multimeter is like a million miles away. But yeah, that works. Let me move this a little closer so that you guys can actually see what I'm doing. It's tough because I don't have the desk light on and I want to show this diagram as I do it. So all the way down here, all the way up there, 2 opposite sides coming together for the purpose of pushing a button to get 0.6 ohms. So if I do that, that gets 0.6. If I press it all the way down, it also gets 0.6, no surprise. But if I go to the opposite button, and I'm actually hitting these buttons behind my hands, so you guys can't quite see. If I hit the opposite button once, nothing happens, but I press it all the way down, there we go. We get 0.6. Look at that, chat. It works perfectly. So we go to the next one, pin 3. And when I hit the up button, what we're calling the up button, what's up, dog? If I hit that all the way down, it goes to ohms. If I hit it once, nothing happens. If I go to the down button on the down pin and I hit it once, that goes to ohms. Hit it all the way down, nothing changes. We're good. We're good to go. Everything's repaired. I'm just going to assume that the LED works because I don't have 12 volts to hit it with because my power supply is currently in the employ of recharging a battery. So all right. Now, it's not a fully repaired Switch yet. Still need to put the plastic back together. So this is where something like this can kind of bite you in the ass, because I've added traces to the circuit board that are in 3 dimensions. So they actually have depth to them, which means the plastic shell might not be able to actually close. But in this case, I'm pretty sure it is. I think when I looked at it, I think I'm throwing away the syringe. My tape job didn't work. The entire plug solidified, and I think the light got in from up here. That's getting thrown away. All right, so one thing that they do in these automotive one thing they do in automotive electronics, man, that is tough to say. One thing they do in automotive electronics, there we go, is they mold the connector as part of the body of the device. So the connector is molded as part of the body of the enclosure to the circuit board instead of using something that has like a shroud included in it. So it's just bare pins sticking out of the board. Those go through the enclosure where there's the connector. And I don't know, maybe that keeps the environment out a lot better. So there's not a whole lot of wiggle room sometimes for the circuit board. Now, before I even did this job in the driveway, I took a look at this and I saw that there is a lot of space in here. Although there are little supports for the board, that might interfere. I think they go up here though. I think they're in a good spot. Overall, this thing should fit back together. I just kind of want to preserve... Oh, never mind. Those aren't even board supports. Okay, so the board is supported on the perimeter, which we didn't mess with. So that's all going to be held together perfectly fine. Ta-da! All right. So yeah, one of the features in the top of this thing is that it does not let you hit both of them at the same time. It does that for you with the switch logic, but it has a metal brace on it, which is incorporated in the tabs that actually push it into the interior of the car. So they can have these pins, they can have a relatively soft hole. All right, let's not dwindle on that. They basically can cut a hole in like leather and this thing will hold on to it with pressure on the outside. And that's how they get their wonderful luxury fit out of everything. And then there's a piece of clear plastic right there to receive the light from the LED and then illuminate behind the frosted plastic that is used to denote up and down. Yeah, cool stuff going on in this. It's a nicely made... Okay, never mind. It's gone forever. It's a nicely made Switch. I like it. Put it back together. So this thing is now a functional BMW Switch. Oh, one of the other things they did, as if it matters, because this thing is almost fully symmetrical, although maybe it would mess up what your up and down symbol were. There is a feature in this thing what is designed to keep you from plugging it in the wrong way around. This is E46, well, E39, but 2002. So yeah, it is E46 era. But so yeah, there's one singular feature of all the weird design choices that they put into this button, all the weird features that they put in, and there's only one indexing pin so that you plug in the electronics the right way around. And there you go. Got that luxury feel. Yeah, feels right. Everything's in the right position. We're good to go. It's just the Switch. Who cares? So yeah, that's electronics trace repair for you guys. I'll get that back to my friend sometime. I don't know when. Alrighty, onto the grim business ahead of us, chat. Onto the grim business ahead of us. Burn the Subs is dead. We had a name come in. There was a lot of W's, some other characters in there, and it was all caps. And unfortunately, it killed the board. Why did it kill the board? Well, capitalization in the Burn the Subs font. Avenue. Capitalization is large in that, which is fine. It's totally fine with the font. It's just that if you get a name that is, you know, somebody slamming the fingers on the keyboard, it's going to take up a lot more space. We're actually going to need this when we go back to the RC car thing. I'm just making room for the notepad in front of me. So I left that for the weekend. I left Burn the Subs for the weekend. Capitalism killed the board. So I left the board for the weekend to do its thing, and the result is... Dun, 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 wah. So it is still trying to place the name, and it cannot. The board is almost completely inactive. Nothing has happened. I have a feeling that Switch worth $50. I guess it was worth the repair. No, because my hourly rate is probably $75 to $100 plus an hour. I start off pricing myself as the price of a mechanic, but I'm an electrical engineer, so I should probably be charging a lot more per hour. And the amount of time that it took me to fix that, it's worth it just to go buy another one for $50, probably with $30 shipping. But Okay, so yeah, anyway, we don't need this logic diagram anymore. I'm not going to save this, so take your screenshots if you feel like it. I don't think anybody will really benefit terribly from this information, but it is an interesting scheme, how it determines you're rolling up the window all the way. Definitely piggybacked off of switches that didn't previously do this. They're like, hey, we want a feature where you can roll the window all the way up and down. And the guy designing the wiring harness then spits out their coffee. And it's like, how? And they came up with this. Pretty cool. As a mechanical engineer, I'm applying for jobs that pay $25 an hour. As a mechanic, I made 18. Well, as a contractor, I'm charging a hell of a lot more than that. Because I got to pay my own health insurance and shit. Close that. Goodbye forever. Bonk. Okay, so we figured out how that switch works. That's all well and good and wonderful. What was I going to do? I was going to pull up WinSCP. The board is full. Somebody has subbed to the board, which is great, and they filled it, which is great. I have a way to log into the board. We can see what it's doing right now. It is trying to place a name, but it doesn't really give any status updates when it tries to place a name. So I don't think we can really get a good view of what it's doing right now, but we can look at the front console. I call it the front console, but it's really just printing some. God, the insides of my arms are bruised. I can feel it. Oh, God, that post needle. Ah, it hurts. My arms are like my veins are sore. I fucking hate it. So screen is what we're using. So screen R for the active other screen. There it is. Yeah, it is blown up the text sizing on this. So listen, this person did their honorable duty to break the board, and it's kind of awesome. I didn't say anything. I wasn't like begging for subs like I normally do, because normally with you guys, I'm begging you to sub, and I'm like crying, just like snot running down my nose, and I'm going, please just subscribe to my channel. I need you to subscribe, or else, and then I shame you guys for it. I start saying like, wow, you guys can't even afford to shame my channel. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You guys are just some kind of weird failures at life for not even trying to sub to my channel. And I'll get vindictive, and I'll start, calling you guys names, and I'm crying the whole time. But I wasn't doing that when this person entered my chat. They decided to sub just out of nowhere. And I was worried about it because, yeah, the board has 5,500 names on there. Ah, wait a minute. Exactly? That's cool. Wow, we reached an even number. I didn't expect that. 5,500 names exactly. That's actually really cool. Yeah, it is tried 2 trillion times. The Heathen Games was the second to last. Well, the Heathen Games was the last name to go onto the board. It's a lucky Chinese number. Is it, or are you just making that up? I can't differentiate jokes. So, and the Raspberry Pi is at 58 degrees Celsius too. So yeah, Heathen Games is second to last. No, but they didn't place, and the Heathen Games would have placed, and unless it came in a batch, but they decided to sub of their own volition, and it wasn't part of a group. So yeah, Heathen Games was the last name to go on the board. No, you were after, I thought. Look at my log here. Hold on. Where the hell is your sub? Oh, it was a gift. Why didn't they even get on here? What the fuck? What the hell, Streamlabs? Why did they like did they rescind their sub? That would be even worse. Changed his name and faked the sub. Yeah, we all dreamed it. We got Trash Panda King, they follow, Short Lurker, which was his own 1 month. So we have, where is Short Lurker on this? Short Lurker isn't even on this. Oh man, Streamlabs, what are you doing? Wait, and it missed the, oh wait, you know what? I think I may have, yeah, I filtered it. That's what I did. I filtered this so that I could see raids. That's what I did. That's my fault. That's on me. There we go. Okay, so it's way Short Lurker. We're still missing Gonad. No, that one came ahead of it. What the fuck? So yeah, maybe it is. Flashlight Gonad might be stuck in that batch. I don't think it would have been in a batch though. Oh, okay. You saw it burn. You went up on the board? Okay, never mind. I thought you meant your name was stuck in the queue. I got confused. Okay, that was a confusion on my part. Oh, jeez. Guys, I'm like tired today. I had a medical day yesterday. Okay, so yeah, anyway. Anyway. Yeah. Board's full. 5,500 names. No tickets. Ah, my arms are like, woo. My veins hurt. Okay, anyway. I crossed my arms and I was like, ow. Something bit me. Okay, so the board's dead. What do we do now? Well, I can cleanly exit the database and that'll be it. So pack it up. Control C. Is that right? No. What is it? What is the command again? Shift P, Alt L, Control M. No, I don't think Control C does it. What was the Python exit thing? Yeah, it's Control C, right? Yeah. Clear the data, burn another 5,500 on top of it. That's okay. The board is art, and I'm not gonna screw up art for the sake of being a dumb engineer. So, all right, Control C. Pop. Goodbye, sweet prince. Good night, sweet prince. It's over. It's finally over. It just zeroed itself because it turned on, or the disconnect causes it to perform a zeroing operation. I'm not gonna varnish it. No, I'll figure out. I'm still debating on what to do about the board. But yeah, this is done. Actually, wait. No, I don't want to close the session because I still need to do what with the database. I need to like split it up. Because now everything is in database.db and it's 40 megabytes of information. Yeah, I know. I'll make a whole wall out of them. So yeah, what I need to do, I'm not gonna pull up Discord on stream. Is it even open on this computer? What's going on here? Huh, neat. Wait, why are there multiple SteelSeries things running? Weird. I don't even think it's installed in this computer properly. Yeah, it doesn't even come up when I search for the program. What is that all about? It's like if I close Discord on this computer, the only way that I have to open it up again is to restart. I could probably find wherever Discord is installed. I think that happened when there was like a Discord like error update that like screwed up Discord and like kept running it or something like that. And so I had to like go in and alter stuff in order to get it to properly run. What's in startup? La 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 la. Discord isn't even. It's not even in startup. It just starts. It's not. It's not even apps and features. Is Discord even on here? A B C D. There it is. I can't do any. Fuck you, Windows. You know, like, hey, look, here's this app, and I'm like, yeah, show me it. It's like, nah, you don't need to know where it is. Like, yes, I do, you fucking asshole. Give me the app. Okay, fine, whatever. Programs. Why am I dumb? Hello, brain? See. Programs, Discord. No, is it in regular? Programs. Who makes Discord again? What company? This is what I'm talking about. This is why. Can you make a virtual BTS from the database? Yeah, it's in one of the tools that I can do. Try the control panel tool rather than their stupid phone-themed applet. I don't care. I'll just look at the command on the other one. What I need to do is open up the database in SQLite. And I guess, is that SQLite? I don't know. Fadanon had like a weird suggestion for how to turn it into multiple things. I mean, I could probably just open it with whatever the zip program is. Like, I could just open it with like, I don't know, whatever. Hold on, I'm just trying to. That would be stream projects. Oh, yeah, what is tar czvf database db.tgz? This is like Linux stuff. Why would, whatever, I'm not, I guess I can do it in the Raspberry Pi with that command. My Discord is hidden in app data. Yeah, I think that's what mine is too. So I guess I could just do it from here, but cd bts2 tar. Hold on, I'm gonna get up and go over and look at it. Tar czvf. Okay. Why am I making it into, wait a minute, hold on. Hold on a minute. Is that, it might be a fool's venture because it might not make it small enough. Is a tar more efficient than a zip? I don't really need to min-max it. Let's just take this to the desktop first. None of the code has changed, by the way, so. This is a new database backup folder. I really shouldn't keep making folders for this, but. Okay, yeah, that'll make it 8K, so that works. I just zipped it. Zipped is a little bit more accessible. It's not really, because everybody uses the same programs, but that's fine. We'll just put database.zip into GitHub. Yeah, they all do everybody's formats now. I need my own Git link. Oop. Just put it into chat. There we go. And in the only way that I know, just take this file and drag and drop it. This is how dumb I am, chat. Stay away from GitHub. Why? That's just where my stuff is. Did it not like the zip? Is it? Oh no, it Chrome thought I downloaded. Oh god. All right. How do I do this again? And I'm logged in, right? Oh no, I need to log in. GitHub. I can't. I sign in. There we go. There it is. What's up, Uncle Phil? That game Dave was playing earlier looked really fun. Spider something or other. Okay, hold on. That's right. I need authenticator in order to log in, right? Yeah, why not? Why not do it the way I do it? Crap. Hold on. I forget all my stuff. Give me 1 sec. I gotta get into GitHub in order to upload this stupid thing so that you guys have access to the latest and greatest, the last database. Where do I do that? Okay, hold on. I just need to like remind myself. Boop, 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 boo. Boop, 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 boo. Go to there, Control F. There's like, I need to like authenticate and stuff, and I never use GitHub, so I don't remember. Oh, it's that one. Okay, cool. I remember now. I know things. All right, I'm back. Go. We just sent you a message via SMS. Now I get to sit here and wait. There it is. Hunter 2. Oh wow, you type it and it verifies. You don't even have to hit enter. Okay, so now I can put this into, oops, wait, hold on, into the BTS directory that's in GitHub. You guys now have access to burn the subs once I commit. Nothing's ever good enough for chat, right? All right, close all my phone shit. All right, so that's mothballed. BTS2 directory is done. We're done with it. There he is. In all of its glory. BTS2. I should probably change that to the number 2. I'll do that later. So 2.5. Let's start talking about that. Actually, first we need to go over to here. No LEDs are on. Oh my god. My code is not working. It's no longer running. This is an X board. I'll probably need to clean out the reservoir a little bit. But it was a good boy. It did everything that we needed it to do. And it did it very well. And it'll be doing stuff in the future. Because we're going to rebuild this. We're not going to rebuild it. We're going to redeploy Burn the Subs 2. We're going to redeploy Burn the Subs. Okay, my camera leg got stuck. I meant to have a nice little sweep there. We're going to redeploy Burn the Subs 2. And what Burn the Subs 2 is going to have a couple little extra additive features on it. We'll talk about that in a minute. I'm not listening to chat right now because I know you guys are going to have all these stupid ideas, or you're going to try to drive, and you guys don't have your license yet. This is like a lot, man. It's 5,500 names. 5,500 names on this thing. It's dense, but it's not big. It's actually quite small, this camera. I kind of like the glitchy camera that can't really handle. It has a lot of trouble. I'm doing Naruto hand symbols. Burn the subs jitsu. God, it's like a Oh, no. Yep, we're back. Sorta. Oh, it's weird. Okay, anyway. So the camera's gonna glitch out as I try to show you guys the board. But 5,500 names in this thing. It has like a Sam Raimi camera effect. 5,500 names in this thing, and one name broke it. What I'm gonna do is take down the wood. I'm gonna take down the board. I'm not gonna do it on air. We'll do that later. I'll probably do it maybe tomorrow if I can find it. If I can find the new board. I've got to measure the distance for these onto a new board. So what I'm gonna try to do is find a live edge board that is roughly the same size as this. Live edge meaning that it's got bark on either side and it's got a very prominent grain. This is not a small piece of wood. So I'm gonna have to measure this and either go to Home Depot or a live edge board place that's near me. But this is like a long coffee table, so it might not be cheap at all. I might be down hundreds of dollars for this. But I kind of have wanted to do this for quite some time. So we're gonna put a live edge board up in its place. But what that means is that these mins and maximums over here, I was always hoping that Brock's H would have a friend, but I guess that's not gonna happen. Brock's H is just up there in the corner, huh? I wonder if, and maybe somebody if you guys want to recreate the project on your own Linux environment, you can. If that name with all the W's on it would fit on the fringes of the board. Like if we maxed out one of the variables, if all those W's would fit somewhere. I probably could have given the board one last like little life support, one last little like defibrillator hit if I made that 10mm standoff 5, and then there would be enough room for it on the fringes. But I'm not gonna, you know, no cheating, right? The parameters that we started this board with are what we ended with. I think we made something pretty cool. We made something pretty cool over the past year and a half. Actually, more than a year and a half, right? It's been like 2-3 years. I don't know how many years I've been with this board. So, I'm gonna get a live edge board. But what that means is that whatever I get is not necessarily going to be the same dimensions as this. We already have a PNG image. It's a very large image, a lot of pixels there. Each pixel represents one of the possible choices in position where the software could try to put a name, right? Because we have this represented in pixels so that we can use what's called the pillow imaging library to make the text boxes for us. When I do the machine code, whatever. When I do the code that determines where the laser moves, I actually mimic what the pillow imaging library does with the font in order to place the names. So we use the pillow imaging library, and that works on a basis of pixels, not millimeters. So pixels, not millimeters. The M code is the word I was looking for before. So the pixel size of that PNG image is representative of this entire board, and it contains a blanking area in the middle. And it is what the pillow imaging library uses in part to determine the position of a name on here. What we can do, blank out whatever section I decide to put text on, and I'll have to come up with a picture for the text. Blank out that position, and then we need to move the XY to the edges of that live edge and give it a good standoff. I don't know how many points I'll want to determine, you know, the position of, but we'll have to give it a good standoff. So in order to do that, I guess what I'm going to need to do is, what am I going to need to do? I think I may need to be able to, I may need to program something that's going to pull it into those, or we could run the equations and have BCNC do it, which is just a like a plug-in program, that something that I can plug USB into the board, and then I can move it a certain number of millimeters, as is determined by the numbers that we've given the motor, the thing that moves the XY table. That'll probably be the easier way to do it, without me having to, you know, totally revamp code and put in stuff for safety and things like that. G code, not M code. Yeah, it's not M code. It's G code. That was what I was looking for. Can we donate to help offset the live edge board cost? You guys have pretty much already paid for it. Yeah. But If you guys want to sub, if you guys want to donate, I'm not stopping you. I promise it'll go to a good cause. Burn the subs manually with a laser. In cursive. That board always looks so large until your hand's in front of it. This is the number one comment that I would get from people like IRL coming in here and looking at the board is going, it's a lot smaller than I thought it was. And like, yeah, everything in this shop is. I shove the cameras like right in your face because everybody has 1080p screens these days. So everything is big and detailed. Okay, so what are the things that we need? That's what she said. Yeah, she did. All right, so. We don't need thermals for this, but they're fun. These are, I used to do a lot of sketching and stuff for projects. A lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff like, a lot of stuff for the old burn the subs and whatnot in this notebook. But let's go to a new page. So, what are we doing? We're doing BTS 2.5. And then if we need to do a version after this, like if BTS 2.5 fills up too quickly, we'll do BTS 2.5.5. But anyway, it's just going to asymptotically approach 2.6. BTS 2.5 A final. First of all, well, actually, let me get dimensions on the board. How many years did it take to fill the board? Well, we can do that real quick. We can go to, actually, ooh, wait, I need to put this on GitHub. I need to put the log file on GitHub. One thing that I can't do is I can't update the secret codes. I gotta be careful not to do that because that'll give people too much information. We're not gonna reinvent the wheel on this though. I would like to turn over control of like streaming events to Node-RED for Burn the Subs 3. But for this one, we're going to keep this as a device on its own that logs into Twitch. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to take both of these logs, and I'm going to put them into my backup directory, and I'll throw them onto the GitHub as well. Throw them onto the GitHub, but that's how we can determine how old this thing is real quick. So GitHub. That's a literal Google search for GitHub. What is going on? There we go. Go into BTS, and then I'll give you guys the log files. Update, old and regular, commit. Okay, so I can go from the first entry in the old log, which is, and this one should be, probably should be Dewey, right? Gonad. Oh. Maybe we only just started to take logs at that point. Ah, okay. Well, from the database, yeah, Stex already has the database open because he's a freak. 2019 126. So, time elapsed from, what is it? 126, 2019. And Way's sub was 3 days ago. My board died on 9/11. Oh God. To 9/11/2021. Oh, Google didn't do the map. Maybe just like time from. 959 days for Burn the Subs 2. Pretty impressive. 959 over 365, because I don't do math. A little over 2.5 years for Burn the Subs. How about them apples, I guess? I don't know. Where did chat go? Where'd you guys go? Come back here. Where are you guys? There you are. 959 days. You guys, yeah, you guys are hiding behind Streamlabs, you weirdos. Okay, so yeah, 959 days on the previous board, huh? Pretty good. It's pretty good. This one, BTS 2.5, way less than, way less than 959 days. For a couple reasons. So, what are we gonna do with Burn the Subs 2.5? First of all, Burn the Subs 2.5. It's no major update, so it is all the same stuff. Live Edge. This is a short list. I've heard that if you complain about Streamlabs Live, you might get sponsored gear. If I had 10 times the amount of viewers that I have right now, we're not a multi-thousand viewer channel. I wish we were. I don't know how to make that happen. YouTube, I guess. I'd have to spool up a YouTube channel. Hey, man, now that Burn the Subs is dead, maybe I got some time on my hands. Here's the deal. So we're not doing major hardware updates. We're not doing major hardware updates on this thing. I need to measure the board so I know what I'm buying. It's gonna be tough to find a live edge board that's this thin and long. So we might, the dimensions might change drastically on this thing. But for right now, and actually all this info is probably in the settings file. 4 foot, almost 9 inches. 4'9" by 1'2" plus 1 foot 2 inch, 4 foot 9 inch. Four foot 9 inch by 1 foot 2 inch. Really, only 1 foot 2 inch. It's really only 1 foot 2 inches tall. That's a little ridiculous. Yeah, 1 foot 2 inches. I probably have an inch of wiggle room on that. Yeah, I could probably do 1 foot 4 if I really need to. Although I don't know. No, the X and the Y doesn't move. Yeah, the axis doesn't move that full. Yeah, wood's starting to come down. Yeah, but I'm sure live edges are not. I'm sure live edges are not. That's gonna suck. I'll look at Home Depot, and then I've got an alternate place where I should probably be buying it, which is like a live edge board seller. There's just like a place that sells wood. They have live edge stuff. I know a sawmill. Yeah, just go to a sawmill, my local sawmill. Live edge board in a scrap pile wouldn't cost you much. I think the closest sawmill is like 45 minutes away from me right here, which isn't bad. Live edge means it's still got bark on the edges. I don't know how much it'll cost. Yeah, thanks for the sub, Rabnif. Twitch, baby. Hope everybody's well. 9 months. Yeah, baby's got nowhere to go. The board is dead. He's dead. Live edge. So names between subs go in a pool. Random order. On the next board. That way, we're not playing favorites. I need a larger pen to do this. I need a larger pen to do this. Fuck this page. Sucks. Everything sucks. All right. I'm remembering how to write. I haven't written in, like, ages. This is not a good tip for this. It's not going through, so that's good. Live edge. 4 foot 9 inch. By 1 foot 2 inch. First from subpool. Random. I almost completely randomly ordered those words. I think I just like threw those in a bin and then pulled all the different words out just randomly. Names first from subpool random. Like Yoda speak. What am I doing? So that means Python. What do you call that? It's just still a Python program. Python program to generate. That's like caveman speak. Yeah, generate DB entries. I'll do DB like it's the units. DB entries. All right. He's involving snakes again. Burn the subs is programmed in Python. Of course I'm going to keep it there. How loud must entries be? Yes! It's naturally going to be less than 959 days, so I'll just make a little note over here. Remember, chat, we have a little less than 3 years to put together, to 2.6 years. No. Hold on. Hold up, everybody. Shut the fuck up, chat. This is the first names to go on the board are going to be randomly ordered from the pool of names that have come in between the boards. So it's going to be a big amount of names. There's going to be a lot of entries at first. Gifties. Oh god, I gotta write neater than that. Hold on. I gotta write. Okay. Neat handwriting. I have terrible handwriting. Neat handwriting comes from writing slow. So slow down and you'll have good handwriting. Gifties. Single line. Font. Subs. Bubs. So that would be a ceiling function or a floor function. Apply a ceiling or floor. Probably both, because everybody will be the same exact size, right? So ceiling and function. Depending on gift status. On gift status, and that's in the JSON return. So that's like 2 lines of code. That's really not going to be that much code. It'll be like evaluate the name. I mean, we could take out the thing like with the equation that determines the size of the font and everything, but I don't even have to do that. I just after that line of code. So this would be after, so right after the name is vetted. Before it's added to the database. So right before it's added to the database, I kind of know exactly where that code is. There's a one thread that goes through all that stuff, and it keeps logged into Twitch and everything. So at that point, what we can do is we can apply a size ceiling and or floor to give a minimum bubble font, or, and I don't know if it should be maximum single line. So difference between smallest bubble font and largest single line. Because that's a concern. Didn't you have a really large bitmap? That's different. No, it's a big PNG image, but I mean, the whole thing gets stored in memory. There is a way to create a, you can create a PNG from the board. If you get into the GitHub files and you get that running in your environment, you can actually run one of my utilities that will create a PNG out of all the names on the board. That's something that we should probably do in the near future, just to take a look at some of the collisions and like what happened. Because yeah, that's the next thing actually. That's in fact the next thing. So collisions. What the hell, man? We'll actually get to electronics work in a minute here. We'll do some we'll work on the RC car in just a minute. I just want to get my thoughts together for burn the subs 2.5. You know, what am I going to be doing with this board? It's going to be a little bit more of the same thing. We're going to have a little bit of a different style to it. And that's what I like doing. I like doing just little tweaks on the style. So the tweak on the style in this case is that we're not going to have a depreciating size of names. Everybody is going to stay the same size. I have in the past built, you know, basically simulated the board. I don't think we really need to this time. I mean, I can run it and see if it exists in software properly, so we don't ruin an expensive piece of live edge. That might be a good idea, but these are very minor tweaks. But I guess I can run it. I can run it with a test DB. I can do that, definitely. I had some people run it on their home environments, you know, using their normal old computer, because what that does is that runs a hell of a lot faster. The Raspberry Pi is not terrible. Like if we point the Raspberry Pi at the database, it takes a long time for it to do a full processing run. Whereas if we allow one of you freaks to run it in their home environment, it'll make it in like a couple seconds, because it has processor speeds that put the Raspberry Pi to shame. So probably just tweak the numbers. More standoff. If we have a bunch of names that are going to be the same size, getting them super close and packed into one another is not as much of a priority. However, I do still want to run that collision code, because the way that this works is the pillow imaging library will make a box with black text on it, right? Using the font that you've determined. So it makes a box, has black text on it, and then we blur that just a little bit. So we blur those lines. I'm gonna cough 1 sec. We blur that font, and then it goes pixel by pixel looking for anything that's off white. So if we blur it and it's a little bit gray, then that is not an area where we can place a new name. And I'm wondering how that broke down when we did the current version of the board, because there were problems with names colliding. We had a lot of collisions. So I'm just going to note blur code trials. We'll have to figure out how we're going to be able to view what it's doing. So maybe blur to print PNG. If I can enter a name into the database, have it evaluate normally, and then print out a PNG, we can run that operation and then take a look at it. No, I'm not going to do the end. That's a good point. Well, do I want to do the end stops or not? Do I want to do that level of retooling at the moment? Because if this isn't going to last 2.5 years, they're not really going to move. But, I'll put it down. Because I don't really feel like I want to do like heat management or anything else. I just don't want, like, in case the collisions were caused by the end switches, I don't want, I don't want those. If those end switches were the ones that were causing the problems with collisions, then I definitely want to solve that. And Hall effect end stops definitely solve that. But no, too much wiring. Need to run power wires over to where all the end stops are. If I do that, that might be too much for now. We'll see. We'll see what I'm up for when it comes to that. I might just live with what we have. Because, yeah, fancy schmancy Hall effect end stops are sort of a BTS 3.0 technology upgrade thing. I think that's it. I think that's all we're going to do on this one. Someone catch how it died? Oh yeah, we know how it died, man. No, we didn't stop the board. It's full. There was an all caps name that went in that killed it. That'll still be able to happen, by the way, especially given that we're giving normal subs the bubble line font, which takes up more space. So it's not going to last nearly as long as the previous version of the board. Not nearly. No, that's a major technology update. No, that's for Burn the Subs 3. Burn the Subs 3 is going to have its own camera axis. That's why I got all of that's why I spent over $1,000 on parts for that thing. No, this one's not going to have an auto camera. It's just not something I'm going to do. I might need to resurrect the smoke monster though. RGB laser. No, then it won't. Okay, so here's the deal. The reason that Burn the Subs uses an ultraviolet, or sorry, a blue laser, is because blue laser is a very large ultraviolet component to their spectrum that they output. So the ultraviolet part of that beam is what helps it burn stuff the way it does. That's why it's a blue laser. Also, blue lasers look awesome, but I mean, you know what I mean. Yeah, the tentacle of respiratory health. So, okay, short list, right? It's, yeah, subs and giftees are going to be fixed font sizes, but the giftees will be a single line, and the original subs will be a dual line. Yeah, the more blue the light is, the more energetic it is. The more like the late 90s it looks like. It's blue equals technology. No sub-tier difference. Sub-tier, if you're doing a different tier sub and you're just doing it for emotes, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I want those to come from the heart. I also need to work on emotes at some point. I think we got a plan here. That looked like shit. I did a bad job. Anyway. So, all right. End stop thing is really pushing it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. The names between the boards. So first of all, I got to find a live edge board. The old shading of letters when you can't think of what to do next. I know what I'm doing next. BTS 2.5. It's going to be a live edge board. I've got to stay within these bounds. It can be smaller than that if it needs to be, depending on what I can find tomorrow. Oh God, I got to go all the way to Home Depot tomorrow. That means I can get Taco Bell though. Yes. Go to Home Despot. Sad. Get Taco Bell. Happy. Okay. I don't know what's wrong with your people's digestive systems that you think that getting Taco Bell is an immediate permission to start fucking firing diarrhea everywhere around your bathroom. Like, what kind of animals are you people? I don't understand why you guys can't eat it without having, like, dietary distress. Gastronomical, like a gastronomical world-ending event. A mass extinction event. Yeah, 100 ways to package 4 things. Listen, I'm somebody who lives, I'm not like Tomato. First of all, I don't DoorDash every single meal that I eat. I cook a lot. But I live in an area, it's the Philly burbs, where if you put a piece of string on my location and you fan it out like, I don't know how many miles. I don't know what to say there. A bunch of miles, and you trace it around, there are no Taco Bells. There just aren't. There's none around here. It is a significant trip for me to go get. And I like Taco Bell. I don't know. It's shitty food, but whatever. It's nostalgic almost, you know? Like if I went to a taco restaurant and they put Taco Bell in front of me, not even a restaurant, if I went to a taco stand and they gave me that, I would be like, this fucking sucks. Like, this is shit. But it's nostalgia for me. It's like road trip food. How long is a piece of string? Yeah, seriously. How can you get a piece of string that's miles long? But yeah, so I don't know. I never ever get to get it. So if I go to Home Depot, that means I'm going to be kind of close to one, which means I can take a little excursion to go get 15 tacos and then come back here and eat them all, and then probably just feel like I'm going to explode for a little while and spend the rest of the afternoon working on my glucose levels. I deserve it. I'm going to spend so much money on this wood. Oh, it's going to suck. So yeah, all right. So live edge board, I get to get Taco Bell. The names that come in between, these are randomly ordered words, by the way. The names that come in between streams, or sorry, in between boards, the names that come in between boards, those will be entered into a Python program that will punch them into the database, kind of like you punch a baby. They'll punch them into the database in order to randomly order them as the first names burnt on that board. That's an easy little program for me to make, as long as it just loads all the Peewee database stuff, and then it can just create it. Next, gifties are in a single line font. Subs are in a bubble line font. The way the software works right now, if the font size is above a certain number, it will become a bubble line font of that size. If it is below that font size number, it will become a single line font. So we just need to tweak where that font size is, depending on whether or not is gifty or is gift, which is, here, I can show you. Let's go to like, this is the, yeah. Oh, wait, this is the latest log. Oh, if I went to the other log, I would have been able to see it. Okay, depending on whether, user ID, channel name, months, display name, benefit end, cumulative, sub-message. Wait, why is all that? Oh, it must have had a WebSocket issue before the between streams, huh? Is gift true or false? Ah, really? Do I have to convert true and false into like something that the computer can recognize? Because they literally just say true and false. I guess that's probably pretty easy to do. So how do we do that in Python? That's probably not that bad. Is gift, is underscore gift. True or false? So is gift true or false? However, Python recognizes that so that we can actually act upon that. So if it is a gift, I guess we just look for the text true or false. We could say, is the entry literally this text or not? We'll see. Python's good with that kind of stuff. We can just screw around with it. Yeah, that's true. It doesn't have quotes around it, so it might just be an actual TF or whatever value. Excuse me. So that's easy to do. Depending on whether or not it's a gift, we will fix it to a certain font size, larger or smaller than the bubble line cutoff. What is bubble cutoff? So that means that we will have, I don't know if I want to have like maybe have gift subs half the size of normal subs. I'll just leave a note. Because I think it'll look cool, because we'll have a lot of very small names surrounding a lot of very small but bold names with a lot of smaller but even, okay, calling both things small doesn't really work. But I mean, like, all right, what's the minimum bubble size that we've seen on the board itself? Let me focus the camera in a little bit. That's the wrong camera. Focus the camera in a little bit. No. Weird ideas. All right, so let's see here. This is the smallest double line font. We did tests in order to determine what the smallest would be until we start to see scorching. Looks like it is rather large, to be honest. The board is not going to last very long if we allow that, which I guess it's okay. I wonder how dense it'll be able to get. This isn't very dense. I guess it kind of is. It seems like maybe Tomcat pedals might be the smallest size. I don't know. Can you guys see that? This might be the smallest smallest bubble right there. I think there are a couple that are smaller, but when it got to the smallest bubble line, it was changing font size very rapidly at that point. So it pretty much blew by that limit. It would have been nice if there were a couple more double line. Ding might also be the other smallest. Yeah, I think Tomcat pedals is just about there. So let's take a look at Tomcat pedals a little closer. Is that in focus? Almost. Here, we're gonna get real close to Tomcat pedals. So this, possibly, is the smallest double line that I can produce. Because when it gets smaller than this, the lines in proximity to one another, and you can see it happening on the K a little bit there, they start to get real smudgy. They smudge really badly, actually. So I think we are limited to this. One thing that the O's are doing some weird stuff too. You can see the top of the circle and the bottom of the circle of the O is a little strange on this font. I guess I'll leave it alone for now, but sort of one of the weird style things about the way this font goes together. Is it allowed to have a name containing brackets? No, it's all right. It's limited by the names that you can actually have your screen name as on Twitch. So we don't have to worry about displaying any weird characters. And you can have a display name, but your account name has to fit within the parameters of Twitch naming convention. And our program defaults. You can answer these questions for yourself by reading the Python. That's kind of a large name, to be honest. If the regular subs are in that style, I think it'll be okay, because I think we have few enough regular subs. How many? We do have a lot of gift subs here, but I mean, on the day-to-day, like in the dog days of the board, when we were like getting through a lot of names and it was boring and not a lot of people were around, that was sort of the time when there weren't tons of gifts and it was just people subbing. I mean, there were still some gift subs during that period of time, but it was mostly just people re-upping their own sub, Prime or not. So I guess, and we're treating Prime like a regular sub, by the way, because that's all it is. It's a regular sub. I'm not gonna do anything different for Primes. Know that now. That's a philosophical choice. Yeah. There's not going to be a lot of small names. There's not going to be a lot of single line font names. It'll be interesting to see how the spread comes about of differently sized names, because we're going to have to make a new database field. That's easy enough to do with the default value of no. And then it'll have to be populated no or yes. Actually, we don't need to do that. Well, we probably should. It's too bad we didn't do that with the previous board, though. Thank you for the follow. I couldn't figure out what to say for that name. Ahmed Gabber. There we go. That was like anime something. It logged the names, went in, so you could check how many unique versus repeat. I guess, but for instance, like Silly Russell always gifts Leb TV Live a sub, so that wouldn't come up because there's multiple Leb TV Lives on the board, and it would think that he's a regular. So it's interesting because there's going to be a lot of repeat names in the larger font size. It would almost be better to take gift subs and do them in the doubles, although that would take a shitload of time to do, because then you get more unique names with a background of similar names. But that's not giving people their proper place in the sun. So I think what it's going to be is going to be bubble font for the names going in that are not gifts, and then all the gifts will go in as single line font. It'll be larger than the small size of the single line font on the board currently. Yeah, we will generate PNGs and do. I don't know if I really want to do a test though on that level. I might skip it. I might skip it. We're having a planning session. If anybody's unfamiliar with what we're doing today, we got to figure out what to do, because Burn the Subs died on Friday. No, that was Saturday. It died on Saturday. It died on 9/11. Oh, God. And so I got to figure out what we're doing with our time. Burn the Subs 3 is not ready to go. It's anything but ready to go. So what we're doing, we're figuring out how we can get a little bit of life out of this thing. And the idea early on was to put I told people if the board fills up, which it did, we'll do a live edge board because it'll look cool. It'll look classy. It'll look classy, so somebody can gift the sub to Butts in My Butts, and it'll go up on my classy live edge board. The cause of death. How else is it going to die? It lit into flames and everything fell off my wall. No, yeah, just a big capitalized name tried to go in, and it tried to put it in over 2 billion places, and it wasn't able to over the weekend. So it sucks. I could tweak stuff in order to get it to work again, but that's cheating. So is that an actual Twitch name? God damn it, Anon. I come up with this a stupid example of a Twitch name, and it comes somebody, Anon, found it and gifted it. Jerks. Jerks. 2 trillion or so. Oh my god. Yeah, so out of 2 trillion locations, it's probably a bell curve, but we can be pretty rest assured that it tried just about everywhere that it could go. I mean, hey, maybe we could put in code, not for this board, but put in code where if it tries 1 billion locations, that it should go line for line on the pixels to try every single one and then give up. How the heck do they gift sub to people not in the channel? I don't know. I don't know how that works. I think you can search for names somewhere when you gift a sub. Maybe we should note that down. Hold on. Then we'll know that the board is actually full. And that was the condition. I mean, it's not like, you know, I'm not going to skip that person's name. They broke the board. They did their job. You know, they did their job. All right, congrats on the house or the place to live. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to, you know, give them an honored position on the new board. They broke it. Whatever. Whatever, I got to stop doing that. Okay. Not a lot of stuff. I'm not even sure I'm going to do these last 2. These are fully optional. This one's a hardware thing. That will require getting my fingers into the hardware a little bit more than I would like to, because the Hall effect sensors would require, what would they require? I think they would require another power line going to them. I don't think they're just gonna close or open depending, because they're 3-pin devices, and I've got 2 wires going out to each of these for the end stops. I mean, this would be great because then I could just put a magnet on the stuff, and then when the magnet gets close, there's no contact, nothing moves. That'd be great, as long as vibration doesn't move it around. After 2 billion tries, iterate through the pixels. That's not too hard to do, and then I can have a break sequence at the end that'll tell you that the board is done. So when it gets stuck, it'll do it for like 2 days, and then it'll fuck off basically in the loop. The loop will end with it fucking off, and then saying that, you know, I couldn't place the name. No, it currently has micro switches. It's just our thought is that the micro switches moved during the operation of the board, because the board was running for 2.5 years, over 2.5 years. And so the thought is that the micro switches that I put, the lever action switches that I put in place, might have bent a little bit. It doesn't even cut now. What are you talking about? Yeah, I can alter the brightness of the beam, but it's with lasers and doing that, like you can't like do like a particular depth of cut with a laser because of the weirdness of controlling cuts with lasers. I mean, that's cutting. This is etching. I guess I could try to etch less, but that's not. It's not consistent because we've got a wood grain as a background, and that wood grain is going to vary in brightness, and so the variance in brightness of the wood grain, the darker areas are going to etch more, the lighter areas are going to etch less. So you can't really, it's not a great thing to do. Yeah. If you're shading stuff when you're etching, it's best to use like hatch lines or something like that. And I'm sure there are more advanced lasers that do that kind of stuff, but yeah. A sideboard for dishonorable subs that breaks the boards. Yeah. Aluminum sheet covered in phosphor. Well, not phosphor. I have glow-in-the-dark powder. I've wanted to play around with that. I've got galvo motors in some of the bins, and I've wanted to run those with an Arduino. And then the galvo motors you can use to like draw stuff. I would love to do that with blue laser and glow-in-the-dark stuff, because blue laser, a powerful blue laser, and glow-in-the-dark stuff, that UV component charges up glow-in-the-dark very, very nicely. This is still charging? Are you kidding me? Yeah, that's pretty wild. Is that thing getting warm? Oh, it looks like it's warm. But anyway, so... Please, chat, come on. Make sure to use unsigned integers. That way it doesn't go negative after 2 billion tries. Okay, thanks. You know where this code exists, right? Laser or ultrasonic for end stops. Optical is tough because of dust, right? Like there are optical end stops, and it's not ultrasonic or laser or anything like that. What you have is you just have a little beam break. So you have a yeah, no need to worry about that in Python. That's why I that's why it was a record scratch moment for me. So anyway, you can have an infrared diode and a receiver, and they make things that are like that. They're little tiny devices that are just like two little blocks that are next to one another, and then you just have like a blade on your thing that comes in and breaks that beam. Those are great. No wear and tear, no contact. That little break beam thing can migrate a little bit if you're not careful. Other than that, it's just about the same as the Hall effects and stuff like that. But then you need to move a lot of stuff. I need to put a lot of wires over to the thing. So yeah, you can totally do that. My concern is that dust will infiltrate it. Whereas like a neodymium magnet and a Hall effect sensor can be off from one another by quite a bit. So it'll like sense out here. It doesn't matter. You know, that magnetic field, unless there's like metal shavings flying around the shop, it should be okay. And, you know, not move and not have any kind of mechanical interference or wear and tear. IR remote controls in the area can trick brake beams if you don't shroud it well. Well, I don't think that's going to be an issue. That wouldn't be an issue in here, at least. But yeah, I would rather do Hall effect because I've got a bunch of Hall effect sensors, and I don't know if I'll be able to do that. Run the extra wires for it and everything. We'll see what we're up to. All right. That's Burn the Subs 2.5. We got some work to do. I'm calling it neodymium magnets from now on because diddling is what I do with them. Yeah, that's an AVE thing. That's actually an AVE thing. All my jokes are stolen from other people. All right, Burn the Subs 2.5. I think we're ready to go with that. There's not much else that I can do today. I'm gonna leave that up for now. I'm gonna leave that board up for now until I can get the live edge board. If tomorrow is a bust, then I'll at least not have bare wall showing. That would be horribly embarrassing. So tomorrow I'm going to try to find a live edge board. I know Home Depot has them. I know there's a shop where I can buy them. If that place is ever even open, I have no idea. If all of that just fails, then I am going to have to figure out what to do next. Look for like a sawmill or something like that, or figure out what material I'm going to use for the board. Until then, I guess we're going to break, and I'll be back on Thursday. And on Thursday, we could probably do the mounting of the new board, and then we can start to get into stuff a little bit more. Tom Servo Crow, that's a good one. Thank you for following. You know Rift Tracks is on Twitch. What up, dude? Can't use the motor servo encoders to measure if it's reaching the end stops and use the existing micro switches for emergency end stops. Well, yeah, I mean, I can do that, but I'm zeroing. So stepper motors don't know where they are. You know, and it's also good. That's my like last resort Twitch channel to watch. My only problem is that they run ads at random intervals on it. Good luck on the board search. Thank you. Yeah. So okay. Why can't it just know where it is? Well, there's stepper motors, and stepper motors are literally just coils of wires in the presence of magnets that run a fixed amount of degrees per pulse that they get on their 4 pins, depending on how the pulses are coming in. That's what a stepper motor is. It doesn't know. Uncle Phil got exactly the clip that I was hoping. It doesn't know anything. It's a block of metal. It's a chunk of dirt, and we didn't even trick it to think. You know, we tricked sand to think. That's what a microcontroller is and a computer is. But we didn't trick the motor to do anything. It doesn't know what it is. It just goes a fixed amount each time. Now a servo, not Tom Servo, but a servo is a different animal entirely. A servo has an encoder on it, and that encoder can be an absolute or an incremental coder. So an absolute encoder on a servo, because a servo is just a motor, but then we put an encoder on it. Now it's servo. So that can know an absolute position. It can have a special encoder wheel that knows exactly where it is. Generally, these things don't. And so you need a 0 point. You need like an indexing point to go off of to tell you where 0, 0 is. So what our controller does, what the GRBL XY table controller does, is it puts the laser carriage up to the end limit stops. Now we could invent a different type of limit stop. We could put a different type of switch there. We could have a different technology. They all exist. It's all out there. Figuring out where the 0 position of everything is. But the fundamental thing about motion control and automation and stuff like that is that it needs to know where that 0 point is initially. So you index off of things. That's why it's a big deal in machining too. Like, you know, your robot arm needs to punch a button and then it knows where it is. Because when you start everything up, nobody knows where they are. And this system is so dumb that if I were to go over there and just go and just move the axis around, we now can't trust that position as 0 position where it left itself. Actually, it leaves itself in 0, 100 because that arm can actually move quite a bit more to the right. I just leave it there because that's out of the way of the electronics because I like to show that on camera. But yeah, it doesn't know where it is. It needs to use those switches to figure out where 0 is so that it knows when it sends those pulses to the motor, it can assume that things are moving in the way that it's been configured. It's a weird way of thinking about things. And for Burn the Subs 3, we're going to be moving up to servo motors. So our motors are going to be 3 phases. They're going to be 3-phase, not induction motors. They're 3-phase outrunner motors, the kinds that are used with drones, but they'll know a position. They'll have an encoder on it that'll know exactly the position with like millions of points. It'll know to a very tiny degree where the position is. They'll be fast and quiet and awesome. I love servo motors. Yeah, me too, man. I studied what did I do? What did I study? I guess it's like motors and robotics at Drexel University. So that was my major, is like, you know, how to move automated stuff with control systems. Yeah, God, brain farts today have been bad. I didn't get a ton of sleep. I had that big blood draw like earlier, so yesterday. So I'm taking it easy today. I guess I'm gonna end a little bit earlier. You guys can tell I'm kind of winding up. It's 3:30. I really want to work on the RC car. So depending on what exactly happens tomorrow in terms of buying wood, whatever happens to my wood, chat, I guess we'll work on the RC car as an alternative, and I'll definitely get some stuff done with this thing. We've got a lot of cool stuff to work on with this, and I need to show you guys troubleshooting a circuit board that's being kind of a dick. I left this exactly where we left it. I've been sitting on my hands desperately. I desperately wanted to work on this thing, but I'm saving it for you guys because I want you to be there when I get this working. Having worked in industry with that kind of stuff, I can mention that they always were set to return to the 0 position each cycle because anything could nudge the machinery and desync the separator motor. Yeah, so for our Binford tools, no, hold on. Any time it went to actually start burning a name, it would 0 itself. If it did a batch of names, it would run those as a whole batch, and we were concerned that it would heat up too much during it and then skip steps. But yeah. Anywho, all right, yeah, no, I'm done. Thank you guys so much for the subs. Keep in mind, burn the subs. Ah, Eric Charneski is rating with a party of 6. I was literally just starting to wrap up, guys. Burn the subs is dead. It's dead. You killed it. Here, hold on. Let me get the focus back a little bit here so I can back up a little bit. So I can back up a little bit and show you guys. Burn the subs is dead. We just mothballed this fucker. It's all up on GitHub. You can see the whole database of all 5,500 names. That's it. Not 5,501. There's literally 5,500 names on this board. That's amazing. We ended on an even number. It ended on 2 digits of 0. I cannot believe that. These names are on the database. I would like to actually produce an image of this because there are collisions. I mean, we can probably see right here, there's a name-on-name collision. And I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't know why there's a name-on-name collision. It's very strange, but you guys have access to the database. It's on GitHub, and if you want to create a PNG image that is absolutely fucking enormous, because a pixel is like a sub-millimeter size on this board, if you want to recreate an image of the board, in the utilities folder of the GitHub project, there are Python scripts that you can run in order to create an image of the board. In fact, we can alter that, and I think it might be in the comments or something, where I can alter it to make an animation of all of the names going up onto the board. That creates a lot of images, though. That's going to be a very large folder. But yeah, so that's what we got. The board is done. 5,500 names. It tried over 2 billion times to put that name with all the W's in it up on itself, and it was unable to find a location for it. That means we're moving on to BTS 2.5. 2.5. 2.5 is not a major update. 3.0 is a major update. 2.5 is a tweak. We're going to tweak some stuff. A little bit of hardware, a little bit of software. Bob's your uncle. So that's what we're going to be working on going forward. Of course, I'm going to try to keep the variety up because it'll get pretty annoying. Python, what's that? Were you working in Python today? Yeah, 5,500 frame GIF. might want to maybe make a video. So I might want to create that video and maybe upload it. Yeah, it was a name with a lot of W's on it and killed it. Your stream is very cool. Oh, thank you. We're not doing the normal stuff today, but generally we poke around with electronics and just try to come up with cool stuff to fill our day with some kind of activity. But yeah, the important part about this stream is that the people who subscribe to it are burnt up onto that board on my wall with a blue laser. So we'll get to that. I want to repair this thing quickly. I want to get a board back up and running. So made a video of it burning 1 name per second. That's slow. That's too slow. That's too slow. It would be 1.5 hours. Jesus. No. I may have to, oh God, I gotta actually open up my editing software because I do want to make, I need to post stuff to YouTube because nobody knows about me, right? YouTube's my best bet at this point. All right, I'm not gonna drag this out to 4:30. I got 3.5 hours of streaming here and I've run out of stuff to do. I'm just spinning my wheels at this point. We had the raid from Eric Charneski. Thank you so much for that. There was another raid that was from a CodeRushed. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys rating this channel. We know what we're doing. We did a planning session today. And I guess I want to get back to the RC car. I still haven't finished that stupid thing. We got a bunch of projects on the table right now. I'm going to try to get stuff done with them. And I will see you guys on Thursday. Updates on like Twitter and not Facebook. And I don't do Facebook. Updates on either Twitter or in the Discord. You guys can check out. Let's see if I remembered. Let's see. I didn't do the command, and OctoJ is on vacation, so this probably has a bad time in it. Let's see. Next stream will start in 1 day, 20 hours, 24. Wow, he did it, man. OctoJ works too hard. OctoJ works too hard. When he gets back, you guys appreciate him, or I'll kill you. All right, pause that. Who's around? Donkey is streaming. What's he doing? Death Loop. So's Rabaz. Bah! I got hair in my mouth. Bah! How did hair get in my mouth? That's completely improbable. Brett is doing D&D Atlas, which is like in the middle of something. Dex bonus is on. Final Fantasy. I don't want to... MMO rating is not. So's Davies. My Summer Car. John Beta's playing Tarkov. Let's not do a raid today. You guys go watch Rob Oz or something. I don't know. Thanks for explaining all this stuff and putting up with us, man. That's why I do it. I mean, look, okay. I hate to have to keep saying this, but you guys are stressful, but it's funny when I'm stressed out by you guys. So I do give you guys a hard time, but don't take it personally, okay? You can try to make better comments. I would appreciate that, but it's okay. You guys are weird and dumb, and so am I. So it all works out. Anyway, I'll see you guys on Thursday. We'll see what happens. If everything fails on me, we'll just work on the RC cars, okay? And I'll see you then. Bye.